This is Phantasy Star 2 from the Sega Genesis, being played from the Sega Genesis Classics Collection disc on a PlayStation 4. Which is probably why the music sounds a little bit off. Not Argo, Algo. Classic. Okay, thanks. Well, this is helpful later in the early in the game when you want to see the map of the area you're allowed to explore. Prospered under Mother Brain, huh? Clearly that presaged Sonic appearing on Nintendo consoles 20 years later. It's a fair exchange. This was the JRPG spectacle we got back in 1989, kids. Well, 1990, I think. Was it 1990 or 1990 or 1991? I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, I mean, if nothing else, like I said, you can see kind of the layout of the map early in the game to kind of see where you're allowed to explore. I wasn't paying attention. I probably should have. Well, there's your game. Yeah, the music is off. That sounds kind of... Yeah, it's not playing back properly. What are my options here? We're not gonna start there. We're gonna do the normal beginning, and then we'll skip ahead to one of my earlier game saves. So I already created a character called Jace from the Lightning League with the Wheeled Warriors. So I can't. T'Challa won't fit on here. Well, Nakia will fit on here. Yeah, Nakia will actually fit on here. Okay, fine. So I'll be a dude named Nakia. Say young girl, my first thought was like a middle schooler. not a tall woman with a sword. But okay, fine. It's anime. It's always young girls and boys fighting to save the world from whatever, however. So a premonition, just like in Ys. Was it Ys 3? Yeah, Ys 3. Capital of Moda. You can't adjust the case of your character's name. So anytime you see all caps, it's always your name. Yeah. I have no need to fear these nightmares, because Mother Brain protects us all in this modern age. I was always a fan. I mean, okay, this game's kind of weird for me because I don't have any nostalgia. I never owned a Sega Genesis when this game came out, and when I bought it, the Sega Saturn had already been released. So I didn't really have any nostalgia from playing this game on launch. But I always used to see pictures of this game on GamePro TV and in magazines. I was always fascinated by its themes. We'll get to that in a second. I believe Mother Brain never makes mistakes. I don't know, maybe maybe Mother Brain has become self-aware. She's trying to destroy us all by letting the monsters in. Go to the Biosystems Lab and get the recorder. If we look into the data, we can figure out how much the Biosystems Lab ended up making these monsters. So yeah, so my character Jace from my normal game save is going to be very useful. What was that? What was the Lightning League looking for? Something about the magic root and saving the universe from Saw Boss. Yeah, there was a magic root, and then there was the magic root, and then there was okay, we'll get to that in a second. So we have she's not an elf or a cat girl. Nays, yeah. She was the product of a mixture of human cells and those of a biomonster. So she was outcast from society despite being a hot anime chick. You were still small when we first met, but now... Wait, they met 7 months ago? And now she's fully grown? What? Anime. Anime. Yeah, you're like a sister to me, Nay. An anime sister. Yeah, I took my stack, but Nay blocked the way. Yeah, she refused to let me go alone. It's dangerous to go alone. Take me! Nay. Protective. The protective, One-chan? One-chan? I don't know. Japanese sucks. Okay, if you have to heal yourself, you come here. And in case you're wondering, there isn't much you can do at this point in the game. I'll just show you the sights. Then we'll do some actual fighting, then we'll skip ahead a little bit. Because I want to show you the flow of the game early on. Because there really isn't much going on early in the game. I've been playing this game for 90 minutes. It is very, very, very slow. As you would expect from a game that came out in 1990. This is the Clone Labs. You can respawn people who died in combat. So everyone lives forever if you have the money, I guess. So you can literally get a life. Or get a new life. In this case. Yeah, the music is off. It sounds like the playback's a bit it's a bit crunchier than it should be. But this game never really had great music from my knowledge. We'll talk more about that later. You buy your armor from this Billy Idol looking dude. Let's see, anime Billy Idol. We'll buy this crap later. The problem is you never really know how strong the armor is until you buy it. Although I guess this game came with a manual. Not that I have access to one now, because I'm playing on this console. I'm about to go online to download one, you know how it is. Buy and sell stuff here. Actually, what can I buy? By the way, everything here is menu-driven in this game to a fault. Like, there are very few quality of life improvements. I mean, the combat is auto-battling in a sense. We'll get to that later. But there's not a lot in this game that's actually going to help you get to where you... There's not much in this game that's going to make the interface easy for you to deal with. I think that's a teleportation potion that takes you back to town. Escape pipe, I think takes you out of a dungeon if you're inside of a dungeon. Antidote cures you for poison. Monomate's a regular healing potion. Diamate is a slightly stronger healing potion, I believe. I played this game on the PlayStation Portable for about 6 or 7 hours, and I'm not going to do a full playthrough of this game because it's incredibly boring and it has a lot of problems. It's incredibly slow, incredibly boring, incredibly antiquated, and it has a lot of game design problems, and I'll get to those later. I forgot to mention this earlier. Actually, I need to mention this now. Nay here does not have a weapon. You got items here. You have to switch. Each character has their own separate inventory, so you have to move items between inventories by giving it to one of the other characters in your party, or tossing it. I guess that's what that means. Unless that means terms of service. You don't want to violate the terms of service, but again, because this game is menu-driven in such an antiquated way, there's a lot of stuff like this. You have to go through 4 or 5 menus just to get to one thing that you need to be able to do. State here means status, as I'm sure you've noticed. The names of all the menu options is very short because it saves memory on a cartridge. This was what, a 2 megabit cartridge when it came out? Maybe 4? So it was about twice as large as your average NES game, but not by much. You didn't have a lot of space for stuff. And of course you're converting from Japanese kanji symbols to English, which takes up more space on a cartridge, so that too. We'll get to that later. Let's see, tech. My character can't do magic, but Nay can. This RES spell, I believe, is it's a healing spell. Video game... Okay. Old Japanese RPGs that were translated in America had to deal with this kind of nonsense. You know, you had Fire, Fire 2, Fire 3, because you didn't have a lot of space for stuff. I don't know what... Okay, I think STRNG means strength. It looks like it's a more detailed status update. So you get to see all the attributes in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. You can also see all the gear you have equipped in the bottom of the screen on the left. And like I mentioned, Nay here doesn't have any weapons, so we gotta give her a weapon. So I'll show you that later, because you'll go to the weapon shop and buy her a weapon. In fact, let me just show you this right now. Let's say I want to buy her a dagger. Which of you lugs is gonna hold it? You must be joking. Apparently, that's the game's way of cueing you that this character can't carry this weapon. Now I have to back out of the store completely to pick a different weapon. So Nakia can hold a steel. Nay here can hold a steel bar. See, he doesn't sass me about that. So you would have to go here to equip. Go to Nay, and you give her a steel bar, which increases her attack ability by 7. Not terrible. And in case you're wondering, you can remove weapons. Like, you can remove the knife. But you can't, but you have to go to the item menu here to give it to Nay, which you won't be able to do. Give it to Nay. So watch this. This is how cumbersome basic item transfers are. I'm not allowed to use a knife. Or she actually doesn't want to take it. So, stuff like that happens very early in the game. So I have to go through this tedious process of moving the item back to Nakia, my avatar. Then I have to re-equip it, because you know how it is. Again, in a game like Final Fantasy II, this is a lot easier. Though this game did predate Final Fantasy II by at least a couple of years, as I recall. You can put it in your left hand or your right hand. I don't know if it makes a difference, if I'm being honest. I don't know if that makes a difference. We'll find out a bit later. Okay, so we explored that part of the map. And every town or nearly every town has buildings like that, so just kind of keep that in mind. Scrolling isn't particularly smooth on this emulation for the PS4, but that's okay. Consider the kind of game this is. This is where you can save your game. And the game will tell you how many points you need to go up a level, because there's no menu option that says next 22. That would imply, oh, 22 more experience points and you'll level up. Final Fantasy 1 has that. Not this game. So if you want to put them in storage, you can just tell them where to put it. We're not going to do that here. We'll do that later. Like I said, I'm just establishing the basics here. Because once I establish the basics, so I have to spend, I only need to spend maybe 5 minutes talking about how boring the game is. Because there's about 2 hours of grinding facing us. I'm not going to make you sit through all that. This is the teleport station. So for 60 bucks, you can teleport to any town which you know of. Which means once you visited a town, you can teleport to it for 60 bucks. Not terribly important here. Fast travel is not free in this game. People clown Bethesda for that, but... You know what? Free fast travel is an ease of use I'm glad to deal with. But of course, you have to balance for it, like Fallout 3. Like, you can't fast travel during a fight. Maybe you can only fast travel within towns. Maybe you can only fast travel once you've unlocked a safe zone between the two cities, that kind of thing. I'm fine with that. But well, and by the way, 60 clams isn't that expensive. That basically just means you're spending, like... That's the amount of money you earn from one fight. Well, maybe 2 or 3 fights. So it's not an unreasonable fee. Hardcore Sega fans might recognize this song. Okay. This is the part of the game that impressed me the most when I was a kid, when I was watching video footage of this game. These anime-looking fight scenes. Strategy. You go down here to select strategy, or STGY. Go to order. Choose my avatar, and I can have them target a specific enemy. Now, this gets more complicated later. And actually becomes annoyingly complicated later, and I'll show you why in a second, once we get to another fight. You can select which enemy type you want to target. That's going to be a problem later, because later in the game, you'll be facing multiple enemies of the same type, but you can't select which enemy in the group you want to select. So if there are 2 mosquitoes, you can't choose which mosquito to target. We'll get to that later. For now, I'll just have both of my characters fight. Whoops. Strategy. Order, nay, attack. I don't care who she attacks. Have her attack the mosquito, because the mosquito heals itself. So we'll both target the mosquito if we can help it. So you can tell your party members to target a specific enemy type, but you cannot select the enemy in the group that is being targeted. So in this case, it's easy, because it's just one of each enemy type. So I'll show you one more fight where hopefully there's a greater variety. We got 10 clams for that fight. So it's not much. 10 Meseta. And that's the second town. Happy music, but kind of a dilapidated town. This town deserves a Sakuraba Moto-e soundtrack. So if you want to heal, you go here, you pay 20 bucks, and this dude will heal you. I should also mention that we have a healer in our party. Go to the tech. Nay is a healer. So you tell her who you want to heal, and they'll replenish their health. At this point in the game, it's full healing. Maybe later in the game, maybe it only heals a certain amount of health. I don't know. That's the telepipe. That'll take us back to the other town if we want. That little teleporter right here. Not going there. So Paseo is the name of the first town. What's the name of this town? Press the A button to talk. Thanks for the exposition. Yeah, there's some bandits that attacked us from the east or something. We'll talk more about that later. Let's get into one more fight, then we'll load another. Then we'll jump ahead about half an hour. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. Strategy. Order. We could tell our avatar to attack the mosquitoes. We want to attack the mosquito on the left or the mosquito on the right. We can't choose. The game doesn't give us an option. It will randomly choose one of the mosquitoes to attack. So that's frustrating. So what I will do is I will attack the bee. We'll get the bee out the way first. Strategy, order, nay, to attack the bee. So the game, I'm gonna go hands off once I press the fight button. The game will proceed automatically without my input. And once the bee is destroyed, the characters will automatically attack the mosquitoes. Ugh, that's bad. Couple of misses. Okay, we're gonna survive this fight, but be careful. I can interrupt this at any time, by the way. See? the wrong mosquito was attacked. I can interrupt this fight at any time by pressing one of the buttons. I'll do that a bit later. But first things first, I have to heal us. I wanted to show you that, because that's one of the big problems I have with this game. There will be instances where you're attacked by multiple enemies of the same type, and one of them is about to die. But if your character doesn't attack the weakest enemy in the group, then that enemy gets another chance to attack you back. Or in the case of a mosquito, it might get a chance to heal you. And I'm not a fan of that. So that's one of the big problems. It's one of the major reasons why I stopped playing it. Mainly because you can't target a specific enemy that you're fighting. Phantasy Star 3 lets you do that. It's also not a game from the same series, but that's the geeky stuff that I'll talk about later. So we're gonna skip ahead a couple of minutes. We're gonna skip ahead about 30 minutes and go to a later game save, because I want to show you a bit more content. I want to show you the flow of the game early on, then we'll skip ahead to a 90-minute game save. But like I said, I'm never gonna make you sit through all of this. Because unlike some of the modern emulated versions of this, I did not mean to do that. Okay, so we'll make this the early version of the game. We gotta delete this. So you got to see the flow of the game. I hope you're happy. So we'll load this up. So I hit the wrong button. It's a good thing I also made another save. Okay, so this is the town we left. So this is a different game save that skips ahead 90 minutes into the game. So I've leveled up quite a few times. Let's see. We'll need to heal eventually. If I said I was going to walk into this building and heal. So we'll do some exploration and then we'll heal. I don't think I did not buy any other weapons, I don't think. Nope. Nope. So everyone has a weapon. Everyone has gear. I guess we can kit them out with, like, more armor. That wouldn't be a terrible idea. We'll worry about that later. How much does it cost me to head back into town? Let me check on something. I think we don't need to be healed yet, I don't think. We'll worry about that later. That's the reason why Nay's in our party. So she can heal us in between curing stations. This is the teleport station that will take us back to the first town, which is Paseo. I want to say there are no merchants here. So here's what I'm going to do. Let's just talk to these guys. We're not going to talk to everybody, because that's boring. I want you to get some idea about how the dialogue is in this game. What do you say about a lock container? Do you have a lockbox? Killed all the men and captured all the women. They crushed our enemies, saw them driven before us, and heard the lamentations of our women. Sorry, that's a Golden Axe reference. There's literally an achievement in this game for Golden Axe 2 called What is Best. Nay agrees, by the way, because she's discriminated against because she's not fully human. There is racial discrimination in this future. Oh well. Spec-Fi writers love racism without actually dealing with actual racism. They like fantasy racism, of course. I'm paraphrasing Jeff Gersman on that observation, and he was not wrong. Okay, there is a merchant here. The other question, yeah, I don't know when I get my next party member, because I know I get at least 3 party members before I hop into the dungeon. I might just get a dagger later on, but again, it takes so much time to grind up money. I don't want to waste time. I don't want to waste 3 hours trying to grind up just so I can get a slightly better weapon, you know what I mean? It's so... In the 1980s, I would have been glad to do that. But not in the 21st century. That's absurd. Again, if I were to make an RPG Maker game, it would be sort of like this, or maybe a fantasy game. But it would be far more compact, with less traveling time, and more like, you know, exploration, menu-based exploration. No, we're fine. I didn't clone anybody. I just backed out of the menu. He said, okay, there you go. I'm like, I didn't give you any money. You didn't do anything. Yeah, we see the money, so we still have our money. So you get the idea. You talk to a few more people. That's what I mean, like, if you were making a building in Shore, it's probably east of us, I think. Dynamite sticks. Okay, fine. So we'll wander around a bit, then we'll, recharge. Let you listen to this chill music. This is like hold music for the Sega tips line. Or it would be. There's an arrangement for this music. I forget where it's included. I think it's part of the Sega Ages soundtrack. But there's a very good arrangement for this song. It's like 7 or 8 minutes long. I don't think we have anything else here we need to worry about. Yeah, Jace here from the Lightning League has no techniques. Yes, TP, but no techniques to use the technique points. I think the theremin was messed up. They tried to hold on that theremin, I guess. Let's get into one more fight, then we'll head back into town. Okay, again, same problem. We can't target a specific poisoner. We have to target a specific. You have to target the entire group of poisoners, which again is just a weird game decision. I have no idea why they made it. So we'll attack the bee, and then we'll just be on auto. We'll be on auto battle for the next few minutes. For the next 30 seconds. I can cancel out of it in just a second. I'll show you how in just a moment. So I'll press the B button, or the A button. Okay, so pressing the button during the auto battle canceled out of it. So if you want to change your strategy during all this auto battling, you can. But there's not much to this game other than just sitting back and letting the battles just play out. So it is what it is. So you don't have to worry about like whiffing on attacks. Like in Final Fantasy 1, if you targeted an enemy and then that enemy died or ran away before your time to act came up, then you just whiffed. Like if you targeted an enemy and then that enemy ran away or that enemy just died, then you would just attack a dead space and it was an ineffective turn and you just wasted a turn. And sequels would fix that by just having you auto-target the next enemy or an enemy. But this game just lets you auto-target the next enemy or a random enemy that's still alive. But again, you cannot target specific enemies. That is the problem. So we're fully healed. So normally I would go down to Nay and we'd use her magic so that we can heal the weakest party member, so that we don't have to keep trudging back to town. We'll worry about that a bit later. But again, the first 90 minutes of this game is basically just this. So we'll head back to the first town, Sega'a. And then I'll just show you what's available to see early on in the game. Yeah, this is just a basic. This is a straight up fight and a bug hunt. So as I mentioned in the past, I was pretty interested in this game because, again, this is not a game that I had a bunch of nostalgia for, or I had a weird kind of nostalgia for, because I never owned a Genesis when it launched. But when the game launched, I kept seeing pictures of it in magazines, I kept seeing footage of it in GamePro TV, and I said, wait, because remember, the only RPGs I had played at the time were Dragon Warrior and Final Fantasy. So I'm looking at this, and I'm like, huh, the characters don't look like kids with massive heads and tiny bodies. They have this sick anime aesthetic that I was a fan of back in the day. Because remember, in the early 90s, the only anime people like me would have seen would have been stuff like Robotech and Transor Z. Wait, am I going the right way? This is the way. Transor Z, Robotech, Voltron, and Battle of the Planets. So this looked more like that, and I was into that. Dragon Warrior actually got an animated show in syndication back then, which I did see. It had Sugiyama's music was, I think, pulled from that. They reused some of Sugiyama's soundtrack for that TV show. Don't remember it being good. Oh yeah, Rin Taro, the director of Dagger of Kamui, Metropolis, Osamu Tezuka's Metropolis, X the Motion Picture. That Rin Taro did direct the Dragon Warrior anime that came out back in the late 80s, early 90s. We're fine. Sorry, there will be anime references in this video, so I apologize. I mean, how could you not talk about 80s and 90s anime? How could you not talk about 80s anime when playing a game like this? But yeah, remember, as a kid, when this game came out, I was fascinated by the anime aesthetic in video games. Because I had seen, my memory did not associate Japanese animation with video games back then. But there were a couple of video games I remember that kind of had that vibe, like Worm, Journey to the Center of the Earth. It was an NES game from Asmic, apparently. This is where you can do your battery saves. Yeah, I did mine. In fact, I'll call that A, B, I guess. You can give each entry a name, which I think is interesting. Yes, I am going to adventure some more. I'll do a test a bit later, because I'm curious if this actually works. Let's see. Gotta back out. So I'll do a save load here. Yeah, I definitely hosed myself earlier, but that's okay. And can I back out of that? Alright, so we're good. So we can delete that one. So this is technically a ground zero save as far as I'm concerned. So let me do a thing. Whoops. Sorry about that. Full screen. So I created a breadcrumb save. 20 points to go up. I think 2 more fights might put me over the... That might put me over the limit. Oh. So if I want to cancel, how do I do that? I don't want to reset. I mean, I can. I just don't want to. So if I say yes... Oh, I backed out. Sorry, I backed out. Sorry. I'm trying to see how this game works. By emulation, anyway. No. I could just reset. I'm not opposed to that. I just want to see what our options are. Reset. I'm going to say my battery save hasn't been erased. We'll see how it goes. Data is okay. Continue. Remember, it's not JC. It's not JZ or JC. It's Jace from the Lightning League. Okay. So I'll show you what happens when you level up. Not much, really. Just gain more. You gain more hit points and magic points, which is the TP that I was talking about. Yeah, that's what that is. So really, not much to say here. Equip. Nay does not have a weapon here. Okay. So this save does not have a weapon for Nay. Slightly, so you'd have to buy a weapon for Nay if you wanted to continue from here. So keep that in mind. I was able to survive because she just kind of sat back and did nothing, but I was able to survive, so it wasn't that bad. So we can load out of this. Okay. So let's check our status. You can also swap order. Like, if you wanted Nay to go in front, you can do that. Now, why would you do that? I don't know. I guess you want her to be target. If you want her to be more likely to be targeted, I guess that might be important. Like, what's her... Just a second. Defense 23 for Jace. Nay's actually stronger. I think we should put her in front. Why don't you put her in charge? Order. So we'll put Nay in front. Problem solved. Okay, let's see how we do. I think we'll be fine. Okay, so let's wander around, see what our options are. Because we know how to get back to this town, actually. Excuse me, let me go back for a second. I want to see how that teleporter works. Right over, that's the save area, we don't need that. I don't know how the battery saves worked on the Genesis. Did you have to hold down the reset button while powering down the console like on the NES? I don't remember the engineering behind that requirement. I'm pretty sure that My Life in Gaming has a video about that. How much does that cost? So Arma is the name of the second town. I think they said it was like 60 bucks or something. So Arma is the name of the beaten down town, and this is the name of the pretty town, I guess. So we're gonna go to the west because there's a person blocking our progress. There's literally a gate. There's literally a human being gating our progress if we go northwest of here. We'll get to that. But like I said, as a younger dude, I was fascinated by anime games with the old school 80s anime aesthetic, a more traditional 80s anime aesthetic. And I think at the time, wait, where's Jace? Jace is there. But at the time, the only games I only remember seeing it in a few games, like Jace and the Wheel. Not Jace. What games had it? Worm Journey to the Center of the Earth had it. That was an Azimuth game on the NES. I saw pictures of that game. I saw some of the art. But, if you look at games like Metroid, no real anime aesthetic at all. Not a lot of pixel art in that game. Blaster Master, couldn't really see it. But what other games? Oh, as soon as I cross into the area, these guys meet me across the bridge. Okay, I whiffed on my first hit. That was not good. Let's see if I can respawn that. That might be fun. What other game would I have played? I remember seeing images of, what was it? Vague's Tactical Gladiator? But that, okay, a Target Earth, I believe, would have counted. Wait a minute. Never mind. Thought she was going for a bunny girl aesthetic. He tried to kill Nay 7 months ago. This is bad news. Well, there's your progress. There's your gated progress. These two characters met 7 months ago, when she was a lot younger, apparently, so that was a thing. Before Nay got that glow up, I suppose. We are going east, because I believe that's where the game said the bandits were. We gotta stop by, Arma, the beaten down town. The burned down town. So we'll consume some magic on our way to the town. Okay, there's no. I keep forgetting there's nothing here. But there were, I want to say, a lot more 16-bit games seem to have that aesthetic. I mean, obviously in America we had crap like Dragon Power, which was a localization of Dragon Warrior on the Famicom. But I think the characters were renamed, the art was slightly renamed, and of course they got rid of some of the slightly inappropriate references. But Dragon Power was a game that came out, I think, in 1988 in America. And it was apparently awful. But yeah, we did get a Dragon Ball video game in the United States on the NES called Dragon Power that no one probably played. Nintendo Power didn't like it. It was very poorly reviewed. And it was apparently a very terrible game. So you know, what are you gonna do? So all the enemies we're fighting here are basically the same types. Like I said, you can't choose which enemy to target. So an enemy might get an extra chance to suck some life away from you if we keep it alive long enough to attack for another turn. So just let the auto battle play out and just hope that the correct enemies are killed quickly enough so that you don't take too much damage. But it was always a weird thing that the game never let you choose specific enemies to target. And Jace learned a new technique, as did Nay leveled up. What did Jace learn? Okay, every time I go to this menu, it shows me Ryuka and Foy. Foy has been there for a while. I have no idea what Foy means. Let me see what that's about. What's Nay's thing? Res. Is that based on what magic they can do outside of a fight and which magic they can do inside of a fight? Now I'm curious. She can do Res. He can do Ryuka. I don't know what Ryuka does. We're gonna find out in a second. Oh! Teleportation. That used up half of my TP, apparently. We'll back out of that. That's a handy spell to have, if you have enough magic, of course. So we can back out of that. So it's a return spell, I suppose. So I guess it returns me back to the last town where I saved, I suppose. So I wonder, so apparently that Foy technique that I saw here. Yeah, that Foy spell on the right, I think that's a spell you use in fights only. Ryuko is a spell that can be used outside of battle, I suppose. But Res can be used inside and outside of battle. Do I need to heal? Not really, no. Yeah, Jace, that return spell used 8 technique points. So Jace here can use that. Let's just fight. I don't care who we target. I was gonna go for the B anyway. Okay, he's down. But he has full heal. I mean, does he have a max? Does that, if you heal, if he has max health and he steals life from you like that, does he get supercharged or overcharged with magic? Or does he get overcharged with hit points? I don't know. It's probably not even that big of a deal. Okay, so like I said, normally I would just go here and just use my magic and just save money. So I forgot to test out that Foy spell that Jace has. We'll see what that is in a second. We're not gonna heal yet. We'll go one more fight and then heal. But I do want to go into town, and also want to go north and east, because I believe that's where the bandits are. So we'll fight this one out, then we'll heal after that. What was that? Yeah, I gotta think about that. What other anime games would I have? What other games with that traditional anime aesthetic would I have seen as a kid before? Yeah, before the Super NES games came out. Like, when this game came out, I had not seen that many anime-styled games in terms of the art. Valis. I remember seeing a lot of Valis footage. So I was fascinated with that game, too, when I saw pictures of it. I'm like, why can't... And like, Ninja Gaiden didn't have... Okay, Ninja Gaiden had an anime aesthetic, too, in the cinematic cutscenes. I guess that was part of the reason why I was interested in it. But this game leaned way heavier into that aesthetic than Ninja Gaiden did, kind of believe it or not. But there weren't as many cutscenes in Ninja Gaiden in this game compared to Ninja Gaiden, I guess. That's where I'm supposed to heal. But I gotta remember to check out that Ryuka spell. Who do we heal? It doesn't matter. We're gonna recharge our magic anyway, so forget about it. We're gonna go on a big excursion, so we're gonna have to heal ourselves completely. Completely healed. So it only costs 20 clams. That's about that's about one fight worth of money. So just do one fight, you can heal yourself. Okay, so I'll do a breadcrumb save here. Like I said, this isn't going to be a full playthrough. This is me just kind of figuring out the ins and outs of this game. I want to make sure I saved that. Alright. Alright, so here's the big excursion. We might come back later and do that big excursion. Yeah, we'll come back and I'll do that. Actually, let me see what that spell does. Strategy, order, Jace. What does Foy do? Again, I'm not gonna make you sit through all this. Ooh, it's a fire attack. Wow. Dig it. Yeah, look at that. I could have done that the whole time. Because I burned a bunch of magic doing that, so. So I'll grind up a bit more and then we'll come back in a second. I want you to see the basics of where we could go early in the game. Then we're gonna go out north and east. Give me about 10 more minutes of grinding. Alright, grinding is done. So we're getting ready to head out on here in Phantasy Star 2 to the first dungeon, basically. We're back here in the first town of Paseo. I want to show you a trick. We're not going to keep this. We're not going to keep this. But here's an example. One of my characters actually has the ability to carry a sonic gun in addition to the knife they already have. So, for instance, we can buy a bow gun, which is a two-handed weapon, which is not very strong, unfortunately. I don't even know why I would use it. But if you buy the sonic gun for Jace here, or Avatar, no, use it or lose it. Later, race. So let's go in here. Again, I'm not gonna keep this. I just want to show you what the deal is with this weapon. Let's see, equip. So we go to Jace here. We can equip the sonic gun in his left hand and a knife in his right hand. So the gun's not that strong. Let me get rid of that. Wow, the attack power is way stronger. It's like an attack power of 17. See, we get to dual wield. Now, I kind of don't want to do this because I don't want to waste the money, but to be honest, it's actually not a bad upgrade, I would argue. So we'll head outside and I'll show you how the sonic gun do. We'll create breadcrumb saves along the way. I'm not going to worry too much about that. So we're going to head over to the town of... what was the name of that town? Arista? Arisa? Trevor Arisa? The broken down town that's been overrun. So check out Jace here when he attacks. Pulls out the sword and the gun. So he does equal damage with each weapon, which is cool. He's two-handed now, so he gets 2 attacks per turn. So I would argue that's a pretty good upgrade. None of the other weapons seem to be useful for him. He can't use the dagger, so you might as well just give him a knife and this gun and just go to town. So we're gonna head over here to the other town. I don't remember what the name of the town is called. I thought I could go over here. Yeah, there's a shortcut. I just forgot where the shortcut was. I'm sorry. I was grinding for like 3 hours before I started recording this part of the video. Again, it's a very slow start. There's no way to speed things up. It's not great. We'll order Jace to attack the bee. He'll kill the bee. It'll be easy. But watch what happens when he kills the bee. Then he switches to another enemy and uses the gun, see? So the auto-battling, that part of the auto-battling works. And I appreciate that. So these battles will be a bit easier because we get an extra hit in every turn. Again, it's not very sophisticated. You can make this game an RPG maker. You just have to work out the logic for the enemy fights. Personally, if I were making a RPG Maker game like this, the combat would be sort of, it wouldn't be central to the progress. It would be sort of a thing you can do to, like, access bonus areas. Like, enemies would, like, drop specific loot that would allow you to access different areas of the game. So you don't have to kill enemies like this. But it would be, like, a thing that you do to, like, unlock certain treasure chests. So the game would be exploration-based, but you wouldn't, like, walk back and forth to grind. Like, my logic would be, there should be, like, an arena where you can choose how many fights you want to get into, whether you want to go in, like, what do you want to call it? Do you want to go in, like, a sequence where you have, like, one fight after the other? Or do you want to, like, pause after each individual fight? So you could have, like I think Romancing Saga on the PlayStation 1 did. No, Romancing Saga on the PlayStation 2, I believe, did this. I want to say they had a chain system, where if multiple enemies appeared in one area, you would fight all the enemies in a chain. Like, if there, let's say you walked into an area where there were, like, 2 enemies nearby. If you attacked the first enemy, the second enemy would see you, then they would join the fight immediately after the first one ended. I want to say, there's a PC game that came out in 2019, I think, called For the King, that I've played on this channel. I believe it had the same principle. If there were enemies that were nearby on the map, if you fought one enemy, any enemy that was near that enemy would join the fight. So, like, I would add stuff. There wouldn't be any blind encounters. I wouldn't have any blind random encounters either in a game like this. The enemies would be visible on the map. They probably wouldn't move. Like, they would serve as gates. If you wanted to enter a different area, you have to get past this enemy. That's fine, because you can make the fights more challenging that way. You don't have to worry about, if you want to go through a gauntlet, you can make your party members fight multiple enemies in a sequence, like in a chain, like I just mentioned. So one after the other until you get past that gate. So that would be interesting, I think. Like I said, just to get out of this antiquated walk around the map and get jumped all the time. Like, there should be designated areas where enemies will jump you. So I'm not opposed to that. We're gonna heal ourselves in just a second. So I guess we'll get into one more fight. I'm trying to remember where. Okay, so we can go up here. So that's the way to the dungeon. So we'll heal ourselves right here. The idea is to make it easier for us to get to the destination. So we'll heal here and then create a quick game save. I probably should have saved my game earlier, but what are you gonna do? So it costs 20 Meseta to heal people in this town, but it costs 16 to heal them in the first town. No. One of these people says what the name of this town is. There's a townsperson who's off the right side of the screen. That says, why would you come here? This town sucks, basically. Yeah, like, again, like, town areas like this would be menu-driven to me. And where's the person who says humans are the real problem, not monsters? Yeah, humans are the real monsters. Yeah, humans are the real monsters. Very Twilight Zone-ish. I don't know where that person... Actually, what gun can I buy here? Yeah, so all the guns here have the exact same... All the weapons in this game are sold at the exact same price, no matter what town you're in, I suppose. Yeah, a lot of this stuff I won't be able to buy till later in the game. Which leads me to the idea that we'll have to be coming back to... We'll be in this area of the game for some time. I mean, fine, I guess. We don't need to clone anybody. Well, she walked off. Guess she didn't want none. We'll just respawn her. Arima, that's the name of this town. F this town. That's basically what she said. Well, it's horrible now. It's probably fine before the bandits and whatnot. So there's no way to save here. Well, not in the game. But again, this is the kind of thing that's going to bother people. If you're playing this game the way it was meant to be played on the Genesis, without all these hand-holding stuff, then yeah, you'd be playing a game. Do a manual save here. Then you'd be playing a game where you'd have to you have to walk back to town, or pay money to fast travel back to the first town through this teleporter right here. How much does it cost? Sega'a. Oh, sorry, I backed out. Sorry, I hit the wrong button. Sorry, I hit the B button. But I do like the idea of these fast travel points. No. So that's like 2 or 3 fights. So after 2 or 3 fights, you get enough money to fast travel back somewhere else, which might be okay. It's probably. But if you were to walk back, you'd probably fight 3 or 4 enemies anyway. But if you're trying to preserve your health, you can spend $20, which is 1 fight. If you kill 1 mob, you get $20. You can cure yourself here in the town. So that's fine. So we're going to head up here to the dungeon. Oh, I forgot to show you earlier. I went to the item shop back in... There is no item shop here, is there? I went to the item shop back in Paseo, the first town. We got some monomate here, which is our basic potion. But your item space is limited, so you have to spread them around between different characters. There was also an armor shop. I was trying to buy some headgear for Jace here, but it was like a minuscule increase. I tried to give him a helmet. It's like a minuscule increase to its defensive ability. It's completely worthless. I mean, I won't say it's without merit, but it seems weird to spend hundreds of dollars on something that only increases my defensive ability by like 10%. It doesn't seem terribly useful to me. So there are weapons here. There's a teleporter here. But there's no item shop. And there's no armor here. But of course you can teleport, it just costs some money. And then you can teleport back here for like 60 clams. So if you're willing to spend that much money, you can head over to an item shop. Again, I tend to believe fast travel should be free, and the game should be designed around the idea that you can fast travel for free. Make the game harder if you have to. Or limit your ability to fast travel, I guess. Like, you can only fast travel to a town within a certain radius, I guess. Like, I don't know. You could gate it some way. Okay, let's get into a fight. Let's see, strategy. We'll order Jace to fight the froggy over here. He's gonna hit us with a blood attack, so be careful. But again, I do think it's just dumb that you. Ugh. But again, I do think it's dumb that you can't just. I do think it's dumb that you can't just target individual bees right here. So you're just gonna have to hope that your party members attack the correct bee. Like that. Like I wouldn't waste an attack on that bee on the right when I could just kill the bee in the center. So these guys just get another turn to whittle me down. So, stuff like that. But I did do a game save to see if I can. So again, they all wiped out 4 or 5 hit points from me on an extra turn they got. So stuff like that, because you can't target individual enemies, it means that an enemy that's kept alive gets another chance to get a free shot at you. And that makes the fighting way more dangerous later in the game when the enemies get stronger. In fact, there's a dungeon to the south of here where the enemies are really strong, and it's really annoying. Give me a second. Yeah, we'll do a quick save here. We're doing breadcrumb saves, because old school game design is weird. Full screen. I want to say all the dungeons in this game have a corkscrew design, or at least they do early in the game. So there'll be a lot of spiral designs to the dungeons here. Let's see if we can run away. But they're trapped, okay. So we'll try again. Okay, we're gonna try one more time. But they're okay. So we're not gonna waste. We're not gonna waste the running ability to run. That's old school RPG stuff. If you try to run and it fails, you just wasted a turn. Let's see. So So again, there's no memory function, so the game doesn't tell you. The game doesn't give you a chance to save your most recent menu option. But of course, you're facing different enemies every time, so whatever. I want to say it's a lightning attack. I want to say that lightning attack targets every enemy in the group. And I want to say that's a tornado attack. We'll worry about those. Against stronger enemies, we'll use that. Order. Okay, so now we can fight. See, again, the Froggy will try to hit us with it. The Froggy has like a blood. He spurts blood from his eyes, like a horn toad. And it can do massive damage to everyone on your party, I think. So that's an attack that could be a problem. But like I said, there isn't much strategy to the fights. Just make sure you target the right enemy. And like I said, it takes 4 or 5. Like as you just saw, it took me like 4 or 5 menu. It took 4 or 5 mouse cursor movements to target one enemy. So that's a bit of an interface problem. They gained a level. So that's cool, I guess. Like I said, this is old school. It's a game where you have to, like... Ugh. See, I did a lot of damage. It took off 8 pips of damage. Yeah, yeah, it's a total random encounter. So rewinding might get you through it. So again, that's how frustrating this game can be. It's like, because it's so antiquated, you have to deal with stuff like this. Enemies getting cheap shots on you. So the way that you deal with it is that you walk into a fight with more... You have to buy more potions, which means you have to spend more time fighting enemies to level up. So that if you get into fights like this, you're more likely to absorb the damage and not die. Basic stuff. In the old days, that's how we used to design challenge. Every dungeon was a gauntlet of enemies, and you had to get the odds in your favor by having enough gear, by bringing enough gear with you that you can survive enemies that could take you out more quickly. Like, the enemies here aren't hard, it's just that they'll whittle us down over time. That was a very long... Yeah, I was able to walk at least, what, 3 dozen steps before getting into the second fight here. So by rewinding... Ugh, that was bad. So you see, that attack took off 10 hit points. As you just saw earlier, I was wandering around for like 3 dozen steps. And I was able to... Okay. He whiffed on that, so we missed that attack. So as you saw, we walked like 3 dozen steps before getting into another fight. So I'm glad I rewound that one time, because I was able to make a lot more progress. Some games had, like, I want to say it was a distance-based encounter system, where if you walked like 10 steps or 12 steps, you were guaranteed to get into a fight. This game might work a similar way. Like, if you walk a certain number of steps, the likelihood that you'll get into a fight increases exponentially until you reach some value where you're guaranteed to get into a fight, I guess. I don't know the logic of it, but you can test it. You can use the rewind function and test the logic. Because a lot of these old games are pretty easy to break down if you, like, test the logic. Like, you can create a save state and just see how far you can walk before you get into a fight. I want to say in Final Fantasy, when I played it on the NES Classic, like, I don't want to say it was distance-based. Like, at some point you were guaranteed to get into a fight. But I don't know how the timer worked exactly. But I want to say that at some point... That didn't do much damage. I want to say it's whiffed. Only did only 1 pip of damage. That's not a problem. So sometimes it's not bad to take a hit. If you only do like 1 pip of damage. But as you saw, sometimes these enemies have attacks that do like 9 or 10 pips of damage, and that hurts. But I think was it Jason Schreier who did a podcast for Kotaku like in 2019 or something, where he said, hey, I played Phantasy Star, or was it Final Fantasy 2 or something? Or I think it was Final Fantasy 4, I don't remember. But it was like, he was saying, hey, I'm playing these old Japanese RPGs, and they have like a speed-up function that makes the combat go way more quickly, which is fantastic. Okay, so that... Well, that did a lot of damage. That does 1 to 12 pips of damage, apparently. Yes, yes. That was a better dice roll. And that just whiffed. Okay. So that's what I'm talking about. Like, the only way to really make these games fair... Well, even then, that's the thing. You gotta bring more gear into these dungeons so that you can heal yourself. Or use magic to heal yourself. But the challenge doesn't come from strategy. The challenge comes from being strong enough to withstand lots of attacks. 40 Ugh. Garbage. That wasn't worth it. You can also save scum your way through these dungeons, obviously, but that brings up a whole other conversation. That was a massive hit. That did like 15 pips of damage to both of us. Wow. Okay, so if we rewind completely out of it, we might completely respawn this. Yeah, I think the AI logic... I think if we rewind, we might completely... Yeah, we just rewind and completely skip the battle. Which I think is amusing. I always want to take out the poisoner first. So we'll have Jace take out the poisoner and just have everyone else fight whoever. Just have Nay fight whoever. I did it. See, again, the two-fisted attack is great. you get two attacks per turn. So I guess the argument is get that as soon as possible, but again, okay, it makes you stronger, but the problem is, like I said, there's not much strategy in the fight. It's mainly just about being strong enough to withstand multiple hits from enemies. And hoping they don't roll for initiative, you know? Hoping they don't get a really strong attack that takes a massive amount of health. Get up poison or will paralyze you, but it ends pretty quickly. What's weird about it is that if there's a status change to one of your party members, the auto battle stops and the game forces you to choose another option. But this is the kind of game where if you're just grinding, you can if you're dealing with trash mobs, you can just do the auto battling. You can just wait, am I going the wrong way? I'm worried I might be going the wrong way. Tell you what, let me do we'll do a breadcrumb save because I don't want to have to retrace my steps. I wasn't paying attention. One of the problems that some people have with these games is that they make you do puzzles in the middle of the dungeon exploration. So if you're moving around a dungeon and you're trying to like push blocks around or whatever, or look for keys. If you're looking for like keys and doors or whatever, the game will like so I mean, imagine if you're walking around a dungeon looking for a yellow key to open a yellow door, or you're pulling levers to try to like open gates in other parts of the dungeon. Well, if you keep getting into these random fights when you're trying to map out this ridiculous maze, people are gonna get confused because they'll lose their way. I think was it Legend of Legaia might have had that problem, or Legaia Dual Saga arguably had that problem, where it was a gate. Sorry, full screen. Sorry. Just a second. I want to make sure I'm not retracing my steps here. I'm pretty sure I might be retracing my steps. Legaia Dual Saga, like I played the game like 15 years ago. I'll probably play it again on this channel if I can find it at a good price. Legaia Dual Saga was reasonably priced about 5 years ago, I want to say. I want to say you could find the game for less than 20 bucks. But it wasn't really a good game. Like, it was a game where you would it was like, I guess it was a game like Xenogears, where like every face button gave you a different kind of attack, and the secret was to enter in certain button strings. It's like canned combos, basically. The idea was to perform certain combos by pressing the buttons in a particular order, so you could do special moves. So the way it worked is that you would enter, say, square, square, X, and that would unleash one combo. Or square, 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 circle to enter in a different combo. So the idea is that you would unleash a special attack based on the sequence of buttons that you enter. But I think either you learned the attacks by just discovering which button combinations gave you the special attack, or I think you earned it when you leveled up. But there was a thing where apparently, oh, if you just enter in a particular string of numbers or a particular string of buttons, you could unlock a new special ability. So part of the quote strategy was every time you get into a fight, we're gonna load this. Every time you get into a fight, just enter a different combination. Enter a different combination of buttons. Write down the button combination you typed in, and then if you discover a new attack, fantastic. The idea is to never do the same button combination twice till you've unlocked all the magic attacks for each combination string that you experimented with. Or you can just go to or you can just use go on the internet and go to an FAQ and find out what the button strings were and unlock every magic attack you could early in the game. Although some magic attacks were limited based on the number of button inputs you were allowed to enter in per turn. Like when you're first starting out, I think you were only allowed to enter in 3 button strings, but as you leveled up, you could unlock 4 button strings and 5 button strings. And the idea is that as soon as you level up to a certain point, you can learn 4 button special attacks, 5 button special attacks, those sorts of things. Yeah, how do I get up here? Yeah, I saw that teleporter. How do I get to the teleporter? That's what I mean. Like, this is where I gave up on the game. It's like, I think I finally got past all this, but I just lost interest in having to deal with all these random fights. Because, again, there's no strategy to these fights. Or very, very little strategy. So after 4 or 5 hours, I'm like, you know what? I don't want to do another 20, 30 hours of this. By the way, the original Phantasy Star had first-person dungeon exploring, which I thought was interesting. But that was pretty common at the time. Like, Fester's Quest had it, obviously. Okay, how do I get up there? Huh. Well, there's your corkscrew design, I guess. I could fight 2 locusts if I have to. So I wonder if after a certain number of steps, you're guaranteed to get into a fight. We have to fight the froggy first. Like I said, okay. This is the first option. Down, that's 1. Count on the button press. Because I want to target the frog on the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for 1 character. Same here. 7 more button presses. Actually 8, because I have to choose Jace, then go over here, select Froggy, and then we fight. So after 15 button presses, we can target 1 enemy. That's ridiculous. That's how much trouble you have to go through to target 1 group of enemies. Now, if you just press the fight button, then your characters will just automatically attack the character on the left, I want to say. The group of enemies on the left. I believe that's how it works. But that's what I mean. Or they just randomly target somebody. So that's way too many button presses to do a basic function. Again, I'm not complaining too much about that. This is old school game design based on far more... Like, basically... I want to say this game was developed in what? With assembly language, so they didn't really have all the... They didn't really know all the shortcuts necessary to make the interface easier to deal with. Okay, I kind of want to start from the beginning now, because I want to start from the beginning now. I did not earn anything here that was... I did not open any treasure chests that were worth grabbing. So we'll load that one. I'm just going to start... I'm going to go to the right. So after all that, I came to the conclusion that I didn't want to deal with this dungeon anymore. Now imagine if I saved my game and had to reset all the way from the beginning because I got lost inside this stupid dungeon. Which I guess is part of the challenge, but like I said, I just don't think that... See, okay, so there's nothing here. So you have to go left. So I'll create a breadcrumb save once I get halfway inside the dungeon. Load. So we don't have a choice. We have to go left no matter what. Now once we get to a fork in the road, then we'll create a breadcrumb save. There's only one way to go, and it's this way. But again, that was part of the challenge in these old games. It was... Ugh. You whiffed. You whiffed again. So again, I guess part... Stop! I guess they rolled for initiative. That's the other problem. That's what I mean. That guy had two... my Jace here had 2 attacks, and he attacked one enemy with one weapon, attacked a different enemy with a second weapon, and he completely... So he wasted a turn. So again, stuff like that. This bugs me. So this is the Phantasy Star experience, man. This is the Phantasy Star 2 experience. I want to say Video Games Computer Entertainment Magazine said this was their RPG of the year back in 1989. I don't remember. But in this game, I want to say this game came out the same year as Dragon Warrior? Because Final Fantasy 1 came out in 1990 here in America. And for people who don't know, like, that was kind of a big deal at the time, because Final Fantasy had been out since 1986 in Japan, I want to say. But there wasn't this impression that Americans wanted to play a turn-based RPG back then. So Final Fantasy, I want to say Final Fantasy and Dragon Warrior came to the United States in 1990, after the NES had been firmly established. And Nintendo of America and Square Enix, like Squaresoft of America, figured that it was probably in their best interest to bring these massively popular RPG franchises over to America on a trial basis. Nintendo Power, obviously, we're going to save here. We're pointing ourselves to the right, so we know we have to go in this direction. Nintendo, obviously Nintendo Power famously, if you bought a subscription to Nintendo Power for I think $15 a year or something, they were giving away the English localization of Dragon Warrior. The English localization of Dragon Quest was called Dragon Warrior here in America. So after spending all that time translating and localizing the game, they decided to kind of that was an interesting decision, I think, but pay $15 for a magazine you probably wanted to buy anyway if you were a Nintendo owner back then. And you got a free video game. Now, I got the game. I didn't own the game. I got a Nintendo Power subscription, I think, a year after the fact. In fact, I think I first heard about Nintendo Power when Nintendo Power was giving away Dragon Warrior with those $15 annual subscriptions. I didn't have an NES at the time. I think that was in 19... Yeah, I think at the time I still had an Atari 2600. Like, I was playing Desert Falcon, which I have played before on this channel. I hate the game, but I spent, like, dozens of hours playing that game when I was a kid. Okay, let me rewind. I went the wrong way. I'm sorry. Guess which way do I want to go? Yeah, I'm making these breadcrumb saves because this dungeon is driving me nuts. And by the way, this video will compress very well. I could probably fit 2 hours of video onto a CD. Alright, so we'll go right and then we'll go left. We'll see how it goes. Because I think if I go down, it's just a potion. Let's find out. Because I want to say if I go down, it's just a potion. No, actually, it's Meseta. It's probably something worthless like Meseta. Okay, that was just a dead end. So there's no reason to come here. So we're just wasting steps at this point. So we can make another breadcrumb save when we get to another fork in the road. I mean, these dungeons aren't that hard to map. You just have to kind of tell yourself, okay, this is how I explore this dungeon. But again, you can't save your game outside of the dungeon. You have to go all the way back to the first town to save your game. So imagine having to trek all the way out here, heal yourself in the second town, Arima. So you're in Paseo, the first town. You trek all the way out to Arima, the first town. You heal yourself so that you're ready to make the rest of the trek. Then you come all the way out here, and you have to deal with this dungeon. So you have to, like, map it. Because you have to haul, like, a bunch of potions with you. Like, you have to bring a bunch of monomate with you, probably. Because you might take a bunch of damage inside here, and you don't want to waste your magic. Unless you have to. And of course, an enemy like that dumb horn toad, if you run into one of those dumb froggy enemies, if you run into that froggy enemy, he spits out the blood attack that does 10 damage to both of your party members. That can wreck your entire run. Like these guys. If one of these guys spits out the blood attack, it's gonna completely wreck your deck. See, that attack doesn't do much damage. But again, stuff like that. He's targeting the wrong enemy. So they're gonna get an extra hit on us. So that's what I'm talking about. So this is the kind of thing that made me give up on the game, because even with the save states that I was able to make on the PlayStation Portable, because I was playing this game on the PlayStation Portable, on the on the Sonic Ultimate Genesis Collection or something. No, actually no, but it was the Sega Genesis Collection that I played on the PSP. All of this stuff drove me nuts. So that's what I'm talking about. Okay, so which way do I go? I could just rewind. I mean, it's not a terrible idea. But again, I'm pointing in the direction I want to go, so I don't get totally lost. So that's the, yeah, 40 Meseta, which is garbage. Was it worth it? Of course it wasn't. So we'll take a pip of damage, whatever. Was it worth it? Of course it wasn't. I don't think there's a boss here. I think it's just a treasure chest. But like I said, I'm playing this game on the PlayStation 4 because this is a game that I just kind of want to get out of my system. Because there are other RPGs that I have not played before that I want to play seriously for the first time. Like the Shining Force games on here, Shining in the Darkness. Phantasy Star 4 I definitely want to play. That's an RPG I'm going to want to play on my Xbox One because I own the Sega Genesis Classics Collection on my Xbox One. Okay, I want to get turned around. So which way do I want to go? So let me create a save here so I can decide which way I want to go because I don't want to make a wrong turn. So the RPGs that I don't like very much, I'll play here on the PS4 to kind of get them out of my system, and then I'll play the stuff I really want to dig into later. That's a dead end. That's the teleporter. So we'll go up and see what's doing. Okay, so I'll go up and see what's doing. Again, I'm making you sit through this because I'm trying to make a bunch of breadcrumb saves, so I don't have to backtrack too much because this game just frustrates me. Like it's just tedious. It's not challenging. See, okay, so there's nothing here. Like, the game's just tedious. So if I can reduce all of the annoying. If I can reduce the tedium, I'm perfectly fine with that. Dead end, okay. So I wasted my time. It was just a dead end. Floor number 2. Okay, now we definitely need a breadcrumb save. Okay, this is going to be interesting. So, what's the plan? Because the Fibonacci spiral plan probably won't work here. I recommend going north, south, east, and west. Just to kind of, whoops. Just to kind of get our bearings. We can't go north. Yeah, we can't go north. Our way is blocked. Okay, fine. So we have to go south. So we'll go clockwise. Again, I don't think the Fibonacci spiral system is going to work here. Ugh. I don't want the treasure. We need a key, huh? So we're not going to go southwest. I'll make a note. A mental note. So what's that right there? Dimate's good. Oh yeah, remember I told you this earlier? If you want to give this to somebody else, you have to go here and give it to somebody. Just annoying. So I can take a few more hits. The enemies here aren't that strong, so I can take a few more hits. It's a dead end. I think that's for somebody else. I think that's for Jace here. Let's see, can we equip that? She has a ribbon, by the way. She doesn't want to take it. Like, if you give her a knife, or if you give her an item she can't equip, she just says, I don't want it. So I have to give this. So wait, so I guess does that, so what happens if you don't have enough room? Well, the game might say you can't carry anymore or something. Or the game might automatically give it to the next person in the party, I don't know. So gave the, head here to Jace, state. You can also sell gear you don't need, so that's fine. You don't have to worry so much about that. So that's 3 extra pips of damage he can take. Or 3. So he increases defensive ability by 10%. So I didn't have to spend money on that. I guess that's cool, I suppose. Uh-oh. Hold on. This looks interesting. This looks important. These guys could be a problem. Yeah, these guys could be a problem. Ooh, these guys are gonna be a problem. I could use my magic, actually, on these guys. Yeah. He whiffed. Yeah, these guys are going to be a problem. Yeah, I probably should have healed myself. He's not dead. He's dead. Alright, so how do we feel about this game? I don't like it. Strategy? Like I said, carry more potions. Heal yourself. Hope you don't get a bad dice roll. That's how the game works. And by the way, you can't really explore anywhere, because I already told you there's nowhere to go at this point in the game. So that's a problem. We'll hope for a good dice roll. It's a dead end. Yeah, this is a dead end. So we'll rewind completely. This looks like a dead end. Ooh, this guy could be a problem. Let's use a little bit of magic on this guy for funsies. Let's see. Boy. He has a lightning attack. Oh, he whiffed. Amazing. Ouch. That killed him. Still got one last FU on knee. Still got one last FU on nay. Oh, oh! I fell? Oh, this is where I already was. Ooh, that's bad. Yeah, that's bad what just happened. Okay. So now I know. Don't fall down any holes. It's like Toe Jam and Earl. Don't fall down any holes. I was about to say, don't tell me I fell all the way down there. Kind of weird to have a platforming penalty in a game like this, where you only move one tile at a time. That just feels weird. Okay, these are just dead ends. So there is no reason to come here whatsoever. These are just dead ends. There's no reason to come here at all. There is no reason to come here at all. Why did I come here? Kind of how I feel about the entire game, if I'm being honest. Oh, that was the way up. Okay. I wonder if the enemies respawn every time you go upstairs. I hope they don't want me to fall down some floor to... I hope they don't want me to... Like, is there like some Zelda 3 like mechanic where you like fall down from a... You fall down from a floor above you to like get to a treasure or an item you need or a key on a lower floor? Like the key to the gate requires you to fall from a higher floor or something like that. See, he attacked each individual enemy. There were 3 enemies here, and instead of piling on damage on one enemy, they attacked 3 different enemies. Which is the least optimal way to fight. Yeah, the least optimal way to fight 3 enemies is to whittle down each one. The idea is to reduce their numbers. So instead of having 3 enemies attack you in one turn, you have 1 enemy attack you. Instead of having 3 enemies attack you on one turn, you have only 2 enemies who can attack you on one turn. Like basic stuff. And again, the inability to target a specific enemy in a group leaves you vulnerable in fights like this. So the fights become gambles. When enemies are significantly stronger than you, your inability to target a specific enemy becomes a liability. Now, I would argue there should be like a status debuff. Something that says like confused. Where it's like, if you're confused, you can't target the enemy you want. Like that kind of thing. I think that means down. Yes, if the arrows are pointing out, that means down. If the arrows are pointing out, that means up. Yeah, I can't open that. I've already been here. I'm rapidly losing interest in this dungeon, to be honest with you. I think I've already been here, actually. Can you blame me if I think it's kind of samey? Yeah, the game might be saying, yeah, you're guaranteed to fight an enemy here. Yeah. It's probably based on the RNG. Yeah, I paused. So I paused for a second, and that seemed to have respawned everything. That seemed to have reset the clock. Yeah, just pausing, reset the clock. Or if I just keep walking, does the game like imply that I'm gonna fight an enemy? I wonder if there's a way to break that. That's going up. Like I said, losing interest rapidly in this nonsense. But let it not be said that, these complex dungeons aren't interesting in concept. Yes, I paused. Yeah, I paused and I might have reset the enemy spawning clock. If that actually works, I might be able to make the traversal a lot easier to deal with. Yeah, I think I might have reset the clock by not walking anymore. Am I going in circles? Like Post Malone? Yeah, I think at some point I'm like guaranteed to get into a fight. Like if I zigzag and I like get through this entire dungeon without getting into a single fight, that would be fun. We could go up in a second. I somehow made it through that floor without getting into a single fight. Oh, wait! This looks important. Oh. They did, in case you're wondering. I mean, I don't know. I'm just gonna assume they did. Crap. Am I supposed to talk to this guy? Yeah, whatever. Should I make another game save? Part of me wants to make another game save. Let's see. We'll make it the one outside the dungeon. So we'll overwrite the save that we made outside the dungeon. Which could be a bad move. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, I think pausing completely reset the enemy respawn clock. Probably. Maybe this just proves I'm going in the right direction. Because in video games, dead bodies always imply you're going in the right direction. That's a dead end. There's no reason for me to come here. I want to say there was no reason for me to even to even go that way. Dead ends. And of course, dead ends are a serious liability in a game like this, because it means that you're more likely to run into enemies that will whittle you down. I do like the parallaxing they got going on here. I'm a sucker for parallaxing in a top-down RPGs. I loved it when Final Fantasy II busted out the parallaxing. I prefer parallaxing to Mode 7 in a game like that, because parallaxing holds up better with these standard definition graphics. Mode 7 always looked ugly, and it looked even uglier when you zoomed in on the image. So games like this with low resolution graphics, parallaxing just holds up better, because I think it preserves the integrity of the art without resorting to really ugly sprite scaling. This is a dead end, isn't it? This is a complete circle. It was a total loop. It just turned around back on itself. So why am I even here? So I have to loop around, I think. Actually, I think that's a dead end over there too. I want to say it's a dead end over here too. I'm pausing every few steps so I can respawn, so I can reset the monster spawn, so I don't constantly get interrupted during these exploration sequences. Like I said, it's not hard. It's just the combat, the tedious combat, just keeps interrupting the flow of the exploration, so it's annoying. think I'm going the right way. This feels like the right way. Because it's a long... Or otherwise, it's a really long dead end. Hope someone's making a map, because I'm not. Your boy loves maps, but this is not the kind of map I want to make. Like I said, I don't mind this as a principle. I just think I should be able to, like, avoid enemies along the way. Like with stealth action sequence, like with stealth exploration sequences, you know what I mean? Like in Lolo, the Adventures of Lolo, you know what I mean? See, it's cool to just rewind so we can just skip all the enemy fights. Makes the exploration easier to deal with. Again, imagine playing this game for the first time on the Genesis. Okay, which way do I go? This feels like the right way. Nope, wrong way. Again, I'm just going with my gut. This feels like the right way. These insects get a lot more dangerous, it looks like. By the way, the game calls these guys biohazards. So does this game have, like... Is this game... Biohazard battles included on this collection. Is this game, like, part of the shared metaverse? Actually, it's not. Whoop! Something inside the pocket. Finally! So what does that do? I have no idea. How do I get out of here? No idea. Not a fan of this game. Is it better than Fatal Labyrinth? Yeah, it's more fair. Fatal Labyrinth just broke. So is this what I needed? Yeah, Fatal Labyrinth just freaking broke. Oh, there's a telepipe. Yeah, I have a return spell. Let's see if it works inside of the dungeon. Full screen. I think this is what I needed. So we'll load it out of here. Okay, so we go here. Sorry. I want to say Biohazard Battle is the North American title of a game that had a completely different Japanese title. So the two games are not related. But I wouldn't be shocked if Sega of America localized or say let's just call them Biohazards. Biohazard Battles is catchier and it has that consonance, the alliteration, I guess you would call it. Do I have to read this? $50,000. Guess he turned to crime. So there is a key. Yeah, probably that container I saw earlier. I'm not gonna waste a bunch of time. So can I just leave? Just a second. I don't want to spend any more time here. Tech. Jace has a return spell. Can't use it in here. We gotta go all the way back out, don't we? There better be a teleporter to get me out of here. Whoops. Completely avoided the fight. Okay, this is a dead end. It's a dead end. It's a dead end. I have to walk all the way out, don't I? Well, I can fall down the floors, so there is that. Not looking forward to any of this. Again, every time I'm rewinding, just think in your head, I would have to get into every single one of those fights or try to run away from all of them. Like, just think about that for a second. Unfreaking believable. Like, each and every one of these tedious fights, and having to hoard all that mana mate and all that die mate. And in order to afford it, I would have to get into way more fights just so I can hoard all of that stuff with me. And then I'd have to use all my magic spells. By the way, I don't think what's her name has any spells I can use. All she has is one spell. That Ryuka spell is to teleport us back to the first town where we saved our game. We can't use it inside of the dungeon. Because video games. So again, if I'm making the game an RPG Maker, it could be top down like this, but the fighting would be contained to arenas where you don't have to wander back and forth to get into fights with enemies. You just go to a menu where you say, okay, do you want to start a fight now? Do you want to fight enemies in a sequence, or do you want to fight enemies in like or do you want to fight enemies one at a time? Like you can bounce anytime you want by running away. But you would have to choose to run away, because the game might not let you run away. So you can choose the kind of enemy you want to face and how hard they are, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah, I think the teleporter was around here. Yeah, it's right here. Okay, so that's going down. We'll have to find a hole. But I think I have to find a hole. Again, I just don't want to. I don't want to fight any of these guys. It feels like a waste of time. All right, we made it out of that. Gosh, forsaken dungeon. Again, that was not particularly fun. But I'm hoping this is the way. I'm hoping this is the way we have to go. My hope is I can just fast travel back to town. So let's go to Jace. He's got the Ryuka spell. And we'll take him right back to the save point. Now, I saved my game already, so I'm wondering if this letter is what I need. Why should I work for a living? What are you r/anti-work, kid? I don't dream of labor, I guess. To quote the John Henry Disney cartoon, I suppose. Used to work the biosystems laboratory. Yeah. You might not want to go there now. Just saying. Should probably heal myself. 16 bucks, right? Yep, 16 bucks. Done. Easy. Anyone else need to be cured? Why would they? Everyone's literally gotten all their health back. Anyway. I want to say there was a dude I was supposed to talk to. Yeah, where was was there like a house that I had to walk into with the dude I was supposed to talk to? I don't remember. It's been like 5 hours of grinding. I think I forgot all of that by now. Yeah, the music isn't great. I mean, it's fine. Like I said, this whole game has like a Master System vibe, for better or worse. Which it kind of should, because the original game came out in the Master System. Arima, yeah. Yeah, you're really glad now. You must have dodged a bullet, girlfriend. Or you dodged a dynamite, actually. A dynamite stick? Yeah, dodged a dynamite stick. What library? Is there a library here? I should be able to sell some of this stuff, by the way. Because Lord knows I don't need it now. So, I'm gonna sell some of these. Like, can I sell some of this stuff? Trust me, bro, it's worth something. 30 Meseta, that's fine. Straight cash on me. Let's pretend I even needed the money. I sell them on it, mate. So I bought it for nothing. Yeah, well. I mean, I got more money from the fights anyway. Again, there's a chance I'm probably doing all this stuff wrong. But I came all the way back here with the letter to see if I can, like, advance the story in some way. How much money do I have, by the way? 1,000. Good enough. Well, I spent most of it on that Sonic gun earlier, remember? The Sonic the Hedgehog gun. There we go. I can go in here. Rudolph Steiner. Yeah, what should we call Rudolph here? What does he look like? Rick Hunter. Yeah, he's Rick Hunter. No, wait. What was Rick Hunter's name? I don't remember. I don't remember. What was his brother's name? We'll call him Steiner, whatever. I gotta find a better name for that guy. It's Flash Gordon. Well, we can't blame Flash. How many letters am I allowed to have? Oh, he can be Herc Storm Sailor. Because I'm Jay, so he can be Herc Storm Sailor. I mean, let's pretend I'm even gonna play this game for another hour, or another half hour, or another 5 minutes. See strength. Was this guy available the whole time since the beginning of the game? I have to go back and find out. Left the army, became a hunter after a wife and child died. Very strong. He's heavy. Good thing I didn't need hunter during this first dungeon crawl, so he can use the heavy guns. Jace has broad range of knowledge. Fantastic. May means the human who is not human, I guess. Lithe and agile like an animal. She hates carrying heavy. Yeah. So she doesn't even want to carry a knife. Whatever. Who should we take with the party? We're taking Herc. Should he be in front? He has no magic. Okay, fine. He's also level 1, so let's see how quickly he can level up. Like I said, was he here the whole time? He's got a bow gun. He can only use one weapon at a time. So basically, it's a two-handed weapon. So we'll see how it goes. Because Jace can also use that bow gun. But again, he can handle 2 weapons. So I'm curious if I can give this guy... Can I give Herc Storm Sailor here a dagger and a sonic gun? Because that would be amazing. I think everything here has already been equipped. Yeah, we're fine. Once I'm done with this, I'm gonna save the game and rewind it and see if we made the right progress. Was he here the whole time? Yes. So I'm curious what to do with this letter now. We're gonna get into a few fights, obviously, but I think that was where I needed to go. So yeah, I totally forgot this. Again, I wonder how long this dude's been here waiting for us. We'll also save the game. We'll worry about Herc later. Yeah. We'll call the next one AC Green, I guess. Yeah, we'll keep adventuring, but I'm gonna do a quick check on something. Also didn't save my game here. I'm gonna do a test. Save outside of that stupid dungeon. Just let me do a quick test on something. How do I load? No. So if I want to load, I have to reset the game, which isn't terrible. I just want to see what my options are. So let me check out a couple of things. Load. Let's hop in here and see what we got. I guess we'll do an A-B load. So he was here the whole time? I forgot to actually add him to the party, didn't I? Yeah. So he was here the whole time? I feel like an idiot. Yeah, he was here the whole time. Just a second. He was here the whole freaking time. Am I just an idiot? Where's my magic? Let me just do a quick check on something. So he has all those spells. What's that? This wasn't a level 1 save, was it? I think I'm just a doofus. I want to say Jace did level up a couple of times already. I want to say this was the save I made before I did the return spell. Actually, I forgot to double check if I had the letter. Yeah, we would have the letter. Yeah, so basically, he was here the whole time. I'm an idiot. Wow, dude. So we're gonna load one of these. Here's my most recent load. There we go. Am I just an idiot for not recognizing that earlier? Okay, well, anyway. I don't have to teleport. We'll get into a few fights, so we'll head back to the other town, see if this letter is all we need. I think the game just wants me to go to that dungeon to the far southeast of us. Far southwest of Arima, the second town. By the way, who's stronger? Let me see how much hit points. Well, yeah, this dude doesn't have that many hit points. He can still defend himself, so that's fine. He's got a defense of 30. 30's okay. But Nay's supposed to be in front, right? Yeah, she has the most defense and the most hit points. So put her in front. Order. Nay's in first. Then Jace, then Herc. And Herc's gonna level up during these fights anyway, so we're fine. He needs like 32 points to a level up. So there's something over here to the left, so I'm curious if the game will let us advance from here. We'll burn through these guys. This guy was here the whole time. I feel like an idiot. But I guess I beat the game in hard mode. I guess if you want to make the game harder, you can leave a dude at home. But that weapon's not very strong. That bow gun really sucks. Yeah, it's not a very strong weapon. For as big as it is, it's just not very strong. Okay, so he has no magic. What's the other thing I wanted to check? Yeah, Nay levels up way faster than everyone else. What else did I need to see? Well, let me double check her items. Yeah, she has the letter. That stupid key it's probably used to open like one treasure chest inside that dumb dungeon. Okay, so we can't. They have a party. We could take them. Well, she probably doesn't want to have to deal with them. Yeah, I don't blame them. So we'll go down this way, whatever. Then we'll make the right. Be over here, that's a shortcut back to Arima, right? I can never remember if that's a shortcut to Arima. We'll just burn through these guys. So yeah, Herc Storm Sailor here was here. Herc Storm Sailor was here the whole time. I didn't even bother to check the house. Maybe this game did come with a strategy guide. I want to say when it got released in the United States. I want to say, did this game come with like an 80-page strategy guide or something? Because you know how it is. Like people didn't know what RPGs were about back then, so you had to tell them how they. You had to tell them. You basically had to explain to people how RPGs worked. Just a second. We have to go right. I thought there was a shortcut. There is, I bet. Yeah, I thought there was a shortcut here. Yeah, it is. It's right here. Keep forgetting that shortcut's here. This is the way to Arima. So is anyone here going to respond to the letter I got? Yeah, but you can't go in any of these houses. We cannot go in any of these houses. Yeah, I have a letter. Yeah, that was established in the letter that I got. I think the game just wants me to go south. Nido Tower. I think he's in that tower to the south of us. Sounds like it's gonna be an amazing battle. It's gonna be an amazing fight. Nay. Give one of the monomates to Herc, I guess. We'll figure it out. So I want to say there's nothing here I can do. No. Did you teleport me to one of these towers I've already been to? Apparently not. So I mean, it's just. So I got the letter from the first dungeon, but I mean, I don't have to fight a boss. Can I go inside this tower? No, it's just cosmetic. I don't think I need to be healed, right? Yeah, 1 pip of damage, whatever. So we're gonna go south. We can always cast Ryuka to head all the way back home, I guess. So we'll save that here. Again, I'm terribly worried I'm gonna have to trek all the way back to that dungeon because I forgot to do something and I gotta go through that dungeon again. Again, something I have no interest in doing ever again. That's always the problem when your challenge is based on dungeon exploration. Wrong way. So we need to go up and then around. We have to go up and then around. So it means we have to go right and then down, I believe. That way? Yeah, here. Yeah, so here. And there's a bridge over here to the next sector. No, there isn't. Was this supposed to be a dead end? I don't remember. I think it's just a dead end. Or another way around to the right. Because we made it to the tower. Yeah, we made it to the towers. You have to go south from here. If there's a shortcut, I don't know what it is. Yeah, so that's the way. So there's no shortcut to get to the left. There's no shortcut to go west. So that's the only way around, is to go to the tower, then go down and around. Should be able to squeeze through here. And what's that other tower? There it is. Alright. This freaking game. We can always use Ryuko to head all the way back home if we have to, so we'll make a note. Alright. Let's see how bored I get of this dungeon. I have a key. I don't have dynamite. So where do I get the was the dynamite in the other tower? It was probably in the other tower, if I'm being honest. So if there's nothing here, I'll probably have to go back into the tower and get some dynamite. Which means I probably have to open that chest with the key to get the dynamite. How much you want to bet? Bet you $1 million freaking bucks I gotta open that door with the freaking dynamite. Am I gonna have to go through the whole thing all over again? Probably. So that was a big fat waste of time. So we need dynamite. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm not gonna make it sit through all this. I'm gonna try and weave my way back to where that locked chest is so I can get that dynamite. Okay, good news. We need dynamite to open the door to the tower that's south of this one. So let's grab it right now. I found it when I wasn't recording commentary. So this won't be too cumbersome. This won't be too tedious a video, I hope. But again, a lot of this is just tedious. I mean, if you have the strategy guide, you can burn through this without having to worry about it. But I admit, since I'm trying to play this game kind of fair, like I'm trying to kind of analyze the flow of the game in the first 4 or 5 hours, and this is pretty much how it's gone. It's locked and it won't open. So guess what I can do? Hey internet, look at what I can do. Hey internet, look at what Nay can do. Wrong item. Sorry, I grabbed the wrong item. Okay. Nay is the key master. So I got the freaking dynamite. Let's bail. By the way, I skipped every fight along the way from the entrance. So the secret is to rewind every now and then pause to reset the monster. Whoops. Pause to reset the monster counter. There it is. So that's the way out. So I didn't get into a single fight between the entrance and this door. Now how do I get out? That's the part I don't remember. I probably won't make you sit through this part either. We'll see how it goes. I know how to get here. Now I have to go all the way. I have to get out of here and go down to the tower. So, what do I remember from this? Having to walk all the way back out is just phenomenally frustrating. Whoever thought that was a good idea? I do think it's interesting that you can avoid all combat if you just, like, rewind and pause for a few seconds, which respawns the monster counter. Speedrunners might have figured it out, but then there's the obvious problem of how do you level up your characters if you can't get in any fights? How would you speedrun a game like this? Well, obviously you would fight only as many enemies as you need to level up. And maybe use a few tricks to, like, skip ahead. I want to say Final Fantasy II had a really weird trick like that, where you could, like, go to a town, then, like, exit the town a particular way, or there's some kind of trick. And basically by performing that skip, you like basically you exit the town from the west, then you perform the trick which allows you to exit the town from the east, which saved you a bunch of time in traveling. It probably saved you like an hour or so of traveling or something. I want to know if that was Final Fantasy 2 or if that was a different RPG. But when I saw that I couldn't watch. I can't watch an entire RPG speedrun. It's infuriating. But the idea of being like, in fact, I tend to believe that speedruns like that should be edited to the point where it's like, okay, these are the choke points. Like, these are the parts of the game where you have to like these are the parts of the game where you could significantly shave massive chunks of time from your run. But obviously, for documentation purposes, you have to document the whole thing with no rewinding or save states or editing. So you're doing it live in front of a camera, hopefully. And people are documenting it so that you aren't cheating. But I'm the kind of person who says, look, if it's a tool-assisted speedrun, just let us know that it's tool-assisted. But it's one of those things I thought was always interesting. It's like fraud and speedruns can be easily documented, should be documented accordingly. So if you avoid fraud if you call it a tool-assisted speedrun. But it is kind of interesting to know a speedrun that a human being could actually perform. I prefer those. Which is one of the reasons why RPG speedruns are so interesting, because maybe they require a bit of strategy, but they require you to get the odds. They require you to tip the odds in your favor. I haven't technically been playing this game for 7 hours, I don't think. But it probably feels like I've been playing for 7 hours. So we're going to go down to the Nito Tower and just get the dynamite. We'll get this party started by having it pop off with the dynamite. We're going to break out the high explosive dynamite like Jermaine Jackson. Were you expecting a Jermaine Jackson reference in a Phantasy Star 2 video? That's your boy TCB breaking out the 80s soul music references. I really need to work on my logo. I need to break out the was it the Bauhaus font, whatever it's called. Okay, so we'll save here, obviously, and then we'll make a bunch of breadcrumb saves. So I want to say there is no boss inside of that dungeon we just left. But we need the dynamite that's inside of there to bust open this door. Okay, so dynamite can open the door. I still have the small key. Okay. Maybe it's used for all the locked chests. Bada bang. So we'll do a quick save here. Again, I'm doing this because a lot of this game is just, you know, very simplistic action, so I don't want to have to keep doing them over and over again. Again, I'm probably not gonna want to walk. I'm probably not gonna want to make you sit through all of this. I'm just curious how ridiculously complicated this dungeon could get. And I don't even care about getting treasures, really. Although I might find some extra, like, armor and stuff. That might be cool, I suppose. So, the enemies here are really tough. They're like the enemies at the top of the last tower, so keep that in mind. So we'll get into one fight and see how we do. Spit kill. How hard was that? That took off 9 pips of damage, dude. That took off 9 pips of damage, too. So is it guaranteed to do that much damage? Yeah. I think as soon as the animation starts, it's guaranteed to do that much damage. Yeah, it took off 10, okay. So it's a dice roll. Whiffed. He whiffed. Yeah, that wasn't so bad. Missed. He's still not dead. This could go poorly. He's still not dead. Yeah, this could go very poorly. Yeah, this could go very poorly. That took a while to whittle him down, just saying. It didn't hurt that much, but... See if I can cancel the whiff. That's a whiff, so I can't cancel it. Yeah, I can't cancel it. It's probably automatically rolling that. Yeah, it's automatically rolling the whiff. Fine. It's not automatically... Yeah, it's automatically rolling that whiff. I wonder how much... I wonder if the entire turn is predetermined. Like, as soon as the turn starts, each character's results are going to be guaranteed. I don't know. Nay might have to heal herself. So this could go poorly. Probably got to back out of most of these fights, unfortunately. Like I said, so it's like, otherwise you have to do a bunch of grinding with these characters. When do we level up? Yeah, Herc's going to have to level up. You can't stay at level 1 and survive any of these fights. Well, he's in the back, so it's not terrible. Gotta do a breadcrumb save here. I just don't want to have to deal with this crap anymore. So we'll make a bunch of them. So let's go right and see what happens. Probably nothing. So we go left and see what happens. That's a dead end. Probably gonna have to rewind all this stuff anyway. Dead end. This is all a dead end. So that entire path was a dead end. It's a big, long dead end. But of course, dead ends are dangerous in a game like this, where when the enemies get a lot stronger than you, then yeah, they'll just... A dead end, a wrong turn means you're going to get wiped out. If you don't get wiped out, it probably means you're going to take a bunch of damage. Which whittles you down and makes getting through the rest of the dungeon a lot more dangerous. Dead end. Okay. So again, I'm mapping the dungeon by doing this. You're welcome, by the way. So we got another fork in the road, so let's see what our options are. So our third save spot's going to be the breadcrumb save. So we're going south, and we'll go clockwise, kind of see how this goes. Like I said, if there are any long dead ends, I can just rewind. I would argue it's faster to load a game save than to rewind. Well, wait. Gold. Complete and utter waste of time. There better be more loot here. I don't want gold. 20 mesetas, like, I could literally kill a trash mob outside of the first town and get that much money. Freaking waste. That's a dead end. Yeah, it's a dead end up there. It's a dead end. Yeah, it's a dead end up there. Wow! This was just a massive dead end, wasn't it? Holy crap! That was just a massive dead end. I'm glad I'm documenting this, because I would never want to sit through this ever again. But it's one of those things where it's like I'm documenting the moment where it hits me. That's a dead end. Like, I mean, it's just the moment that it hits me. Like, I just think that's hilarious. It's like, this entire excursion was a dead end. I probably had to fight 3 enemies to discover that it was a dead end. And then I had to fight 3 more enemies on the way back to get back to where I was. Assuming getting into a really dangerous fight wouldn't have just made this whole thing more complicated. I think I already came this way, didn't I? I know the whole place looks kind of samey, if I'm being honest. No, this is different. Diamate's okay, I guess. Don't need it. We're gonna end up selling it for 40 clams anyway. We're gonna end up selling it for 40 clams, or I think it's 30 clams. Because that better not be a dead end. It can't be a dead end. This is the only path forward. All the other paths are dead ends from that teleporter we used to get here. You know, I'm fascinated by ancient RPGs like this from like the late 80s. Because I'm always curious what game design decisions were common back then. And which ones we've kind of moved on from. This is the way I want to go. Okay, we're going to go north. So we're facing the correct direction. Save. So we can do a quick save here at the fork in the road. Yeah, so when Jason Schreier over at Kotaku was like, yeah, he's like, I don't think I can play an old JRPG without this speed up function that makes the combat easier to deal with. That makes the combat flow better. That improves the pacing of the grinding. But it makes the obvious point that the grinding in these games was always bad. So there's no reason to defend it. Unless you're willing to make the grind worth the... Whoa. Two. Well, this makes things a bit more interesting. We'll go left then right. Yeah, we'll see what's going on here. We'll go left then right. Again, I'm sorry to make you sit through all the rewinding, but the game would just be... Imagine how boring it would be to sit through these fights where I just take hits to the face for 5 or 10 minutes. Right? Let's take hits to the face every 90 seconds. So we'll see what's going on up here. That's down. Don't I want to go up instead of down? We're going to find out in a second. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. I do think it's cute that stepping on these teleporters causes sound effects like stairs to it. I figure it's a dead end. Does this feel familiar? Well, it contributes to the sameness problem that I've mentioned earlier. What am I looking for while I'm here, by the way? That's the way up, I suppose. Oh, jeez. This dungeon's gonna get really complicated, isn't it? Like I said, this music is fine. It's just, like I said, it just gives me a Master System vibe. Very unambitious. I probably missed a turn. Give me a second. Pretty sure I missed a turn. This is just a big loop. This is just a big open area, so whatever. Big fat waste of time. So I mean, so this game came with a strategy guide, which probably included some maps to make all this exploration easier to deal with. But did the Japanese version ever come out with that map? But it raises the question. I mean, the game wasn't designed with a map with the idea that a map would be printed with the game, right? This is a dead end. Which again makes these every dead end of this tower is incredibly dangerous. Oh, there's a person we need to see. I think that's the person I needed to see. There we go. So where is she? So is he at the top of the... He's probably at the top of the tower then, okay. Okay, so I can make a game save here. That's probably the safest thing to do. So I think the idea is to go up. So I have to go back to those... So those two teleporters that I saw earlier. My job is to go up now. That's my logic. Actually, let me load that. That's why I'm glad I made multiple game saves. So if I do a load here, I can go to the third area. Let me see what the deal is there. So that save is still there. So I'll load that one. Then we'll go right. See what happens if I go up. I dread to think what ridiculously complicated stuff might be here. We're just gonna we can always have the breadcrumb save, so that'll save us a bit of rewinding if it comes to that. Oh, dead end. Okay, so there's something south of us possibly. Nope. Yeah, let's try to see if we can go south. Dead end. Fine. I understand. So there's the teleporter. Is there anything south of here? Yeah. Again, it just feels very familiar. Money. Complete waste of time. Again, you can fight 2 or 3 enemies and get easily that much money from a trash mob. So it's just a second. Dead end. So this entire excursion was a complete waste of time, I want to say. So we went up here to get 60 Meseta. So we'll turn left. So we're still going to go here to go up. I want to turn left and see what's doing. Watch there be like 80 Meseta or like a diamate or something. Yeah, it's just a dead end. So there's no reason for me to go up whatsoever. Oh! Do we take him? Okay, here's what we're going to do. I want to leave the tower, teleport back to the first town, and I think that dude guarding the gate to the northwest of the first town, that might be the guy we're talking about. Or maybe we have to go back. Maybe we have to go back to Paseo. No, Arima, the second town. Load. Now, I would love to know where to go from here. So we can go back the way we came. Was this a dead end? That was a dead end. Okay, so we're going left. Like I said, I'm mapping this for y'all. So make a note. It's one thing to like make a map of a dungeon by just burning through it, by just going the correct way. This feels very familiar and samey, I'm afraid. And I fear I might have taken a wrong turn. That was a dead end anyway. I fear I might have taken a wrong turn. So we'll create a breadcrumb save here. So that's the breadcrumb save for her. So I'll save here. So I'll load there one more time. I want to make sure I didn't miss a turn. I'm pretty sure I didn't miss a turn, but the idea is to kind of explore the rest of this floor. I want to say this is further than I ever got the first time I played this game. I mean, there's an argument to be made that, like I said, all this rewinding probably makes the game easier to deal with instead of having to save scum all the time, but which is what I did on the PS4. No, on the PSP. I did a bunch of save scumming. Okay, there's nothing this way, right? I mean, how much would I bet there's like a treasure chest that has like 80 Meseta in it or something? Remember, you have to pause every once in a while. Like, I already... That's just a big old loop. Dead end. So the treasure chest's probably just there to kind of tease you. Probably into making a wrong turn, if I'm being honest. Yes, place is just... This is just a big loop. There's only one way out. I guess if I want the treasure, I can try and run it down. Yeah, not worth it. And that was just a dead end above me, right? Yeah, I want to say that was a dead end above me. Yes, it's a dead end. So we made it. So we made it back to where we should have been in the first place. So we're fine. Lame. We're gonna make a. We're gonna have to exit here. So let's. The good news, the good thing about dead ends is that sometimes they confirm where the correct path really is. If you have 3 choices and 2 of them are obvious dead ends, then you're fine, I guess. See, there aren't many places you can go if you see a dead end. Like I said, because enemies attack you so often, it's just a liability. These are all dead ends. Okay, so we're fine. There's only one way to go, and that's north. So we're fine. Right is a dead end, so we're going left. So again, really simple mazes, you know, nothing really complicated. Dead end. Okay. So I think we're just leaving. And being able to rewind our way out of fights helps. It's a dead end down there. Yeah. See, this whole field thing feels really samey. This looks like the floor I just left, right? Where there were 2 teleporters, one on the left and one on the right. It feels exactly the same. I think this was it. Yeah, there's nothing to do here. So, I already came from here. So I'll make the note. I can make a bread... Whoops. I probably should make a breadcrumb save here. Because I'm leaving. So... Load. So we have the save for her. Yeah, we're just straight up leaving. Like, we don't give a crap. Yeah, there was another... What was that other game? The Fairy Tale Adventure on the Genesis, which I believe was a PC port of an EA game. I want to say that... It's not a dead end. That game had the whole thing where it's like, yeah, when you complete the objective, the game makes you go through, makes you exit the game makes you exit the dungeon. I think Crystallis did have the same problem where it's like you had to exit the dungeon once you completed your objective. So it's like, okay, now that you've successfully, like, you go into a cave, you defeat a boss at the end of the cave, then you have to come back the way you came, basically. Skyrim obviously got around that by having, like, a secret door that was opened up behind the boss or something like that. So it saved you a bunch of backtracking by saying, okay, once you complete the objective, we can open this secret door that takes you right back to the entrance, or pretty close to it. Or it just takes you out a back way. So it's either a one-way dungeon, or it's a dungeon with, like, a backtrack saving exit. Something like that. Which I appreciate. That's good design. That's respecting your player's time. Because it's like, yeah, it's a one-way gauntlet, but it's a gauntlet that's reasonably laid out. So I appreciate that. It's probably a dead end. Oh, no, it's not. It's probably just Meseta down here. Probably should have done a breadcrumb save when I made the turn. Complete and utter waste of time. Because we're gonna make a breadcrumb save right at the turn, so I can figure this part out. So if it's just Meseta down here, I don't want to waste my time. I guess it's just a dead end up here, right? Haven't determined that yet. So I gotta make a breadcrumb save here. How about this? How about I not make you sit through this backtracking? Because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna leave. Well, we'll make this bonus footage. So before I do that, we'll make you sit through this backtracking. Alright, we did it, fam. We got out of the second tower, the Nido Tower. So there's a secret to this. So we'll save ourselves a bunch of time. We'll go to Jace. And we'll strike lightning with the... whatever. What was it? Lightning strikes from the lightning lead. That's what that was. So we'll do a quick save here. Herc needs 3 points to go up a level, so whatever. By the way, I got like 80 bucks inside that dungeon. Hooray. Actually, I found some Tri-Mate as well I might end up selling. We have a ground zero save, and we're gonna unlock. We're gonna go to the guy who's blocking the gate on the northwest side of town. All right. So we're gonna walk. So we saved our game here. So that means I can save our game here. We can also sell some stuff while we're here. We're gonna finish up this. We're probably gonna combine all this stuff into a long 2-hour video. That'll fit on a DVD. That'll probably fit on a single CD, so that's fine. I'm not complaining about that. I still do not like this game. The fact that I had to rewind my way to avoid the trash mobs and the annoying fights inside those dungeons only reinforces my point. If I had to fight all those enemies in those dungeons, it would have made those dungeons infuriating. And then you would have to grind through a bunch of enemies outside the dungeon or just inside the dungeon just so you can get strong enough to last long enough to get to the dungeon. But there's no quick way to get to that dungeon without constantly hiking there from a town. You have to heal your characters, then hike all the way out there and hope that you brought enough monomate and dimate to heal your characters. So that sucks. So let's go in here. There should be a house in here I can go inside. Where is it? Well, we'll go inside here too, obviously. I keep forgetting to come here. See, I probably forget. It's probably one other person I could have recruited if I went in here the whole time. Keep baggage. Oh, so I can keep, like, Dimate and Trimate here. Yeah, we're gonna keep... Yes, she's an item. I'm pretty sure we don't want to keep her here. So you're gonna running out of room, so... It's probably a good idea to keep her there. We're gonna sell some of this crap. Neem is literally an item. That's hilarious. Is that why we went there? Well, yeah, it's not here. It's somewhere else. So does it show me where to go? Oh, there used to be a desert. That's the name of this planet. Okay. Yeah, so we'll go through the lore. So they dump all the lore here. That's not a terrible idea. All DNA. Algo. I thought Moda was the name of the planet. I don't remember. I don't remember if it was Moda the name of the planet or is Moda the name of the region of the planet, which is called Algo. I don't know. Whatever. Moda was turned into the largest agricultural planet. Okay, so Moda is the name of the largest planet in the Algo system. Okay, fine. Whatever. So it's like Earth. Algo is the name of the solar system, I guess. Lab brought about a creature that's dangerous to humans. Was his name Sawboss? No report on the cause of the remedy has been made yet. climate troll. Controls the temperature and maintains the proper amount of rainfall and so on. So it's like the Genesis system. Actually, no, the Genesis system in Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan was more hands-off, as I recall. It was just a seed. Don't remember how long it took. Damn. Damn, son. East to west, south to north from the lake. There were dams built between each river and the lake. Control the amount of... Yeah, sure. Green dam, yellow dam, red dam, and blue. In order to understand my card is kind of messed. Of course. Of course, so the dams are gates, and they require a specific color key card. Like in Doom or something. This is such a video game. More complicated in the order. I want to see what Mother Brain wants. Remember the American cartoon for Captain N, the Game Master? Where it was like, they made Mother Brain into like Audrey 2 from Little Shop of Horrors. Only she wasn't a plant, she was just a brain. She was a talking brain who talked like Audrey 2. I mean, it was 1989. I guess it was the best they can come up with at the time. I mean, the idea was to make her a character that could actually talk in that cartoon. I mean, let's pretend that cartoon was anyway appropriate to lore. But, like, if you were making a cartoon character in 1989 based on Mother Brain, but she had to talk, it kind of makes sense to make her into Audrey 2, I guess. No. I guess part of me is like, okay, just make her like this... Make her like, what was her name? Phyllis in Portal? What was she called? What was the name of the computer in, Portal? Let me see if I can find that other door. Yeah, where's the house? I can't remember where the house is. That's why I keep missing it. It's probably in the center of the town, obviously. So there's the tower. That part's easy. But we can't go into any of these other towers. They're just cosmetic. So where was that house where I recruited Herc Storm Sailor here? There it is. Home again, home again. Jiggity jig. Yeah. I guess we need to swap out party members. This is where it would be done. I mean, I think it would be better if every building had like a door if you were allowed to go inside of it. Like, there should be a door in front of this that says, yeah, you can actually go in here. Because like in a traditional medieval fantasy-based RPG, it would be like... Yeah, if it were like a medieval fantasy-based RPG, there would be like a bunch of houses, a bunch of cottages that all looked the same, but some had open doors and some wouldn't. So that's... Like, it's a minor thing. Like, that's not a complaint. That's not a complaint I have about this game. I did think it was weird that I completely forgot about Blondie here because I didn't know I was supposed to go back to my house to recruit him. He could have been helping me the whole time. I didn't really need him though. I got past the first dungeon without him. He's just an extra gun. And he's the weakest character in my party. I mean, he's level 1, but he only does like 4 or 5 pips of damage. He's practically worthless. I can say he's just an extra hit. And my character my main character, my blue hair here, can handle 2 weapons. 1 in each hand. So he's way more useful than Blondie is right now. Yeah, that was the guy who tried to... Whoa! Dude! Okay. Yeah, that was very tragic. And the music hasn't changed at all. It's like, eh. The music hasn't changed at all. Wow, dude. Well, remember, this was a Genesis. They were allowed to get away with that stuff. Nintendo would never have allowed that. At least Nintendo of America at the time would never have allowed a story beat that dark. But again, the music hasn't changed at all. A dude just killed his daughter and then committed seppuku. Like, come on, dude. What kind of game is this? Well, it's an anime game. Like, they literally only had, like, 5 or 6 lines of dialogue they could, use. So they squeezed that entire tragic beat into, like, 30 seconds. Like, wow. Yeah, that was morbid. These are the kinds of tragedies that go down as our world falls into chaos. Thanks, Mother Brain. I mean, right? Mother Brain's playing that 3D chess. Like the Hands of Fate, I suppose. We're not fighting anyone right now. So now I can teleport to a new town. Okay, so I think we made it. We did it, fam. And you're gonna do anything as a piano player, kid. In the future, you gotta play a guitar, I suppose. Yeah, that's right. Keep thinking Mother Brain's gonna save you, y'all. I guess that's part of the tragedy. But yeah, despite the tragic undercurrent of the story, the music's totally jamming out. So I guess I can make a permanent save here, I suppose. So we'll save that here. I'm not, no spoilers. Let's call it A-B, whatever. So, the rest of the world's been unlocked. Well, maybe not all of it, just some of it. So they'll gate our progress a little bit. Again, I don't know how much more I'm going to play of this game. I'm probably never going to touch it ever again. They'll probably try to sell me on it. We'll see how it goes. We'll add some bonus footage, I suppose. I guess I can't sell TM or whatever you call it. How much is the Trimate? Can't sell the key. No, we'll keep the Trimate. We don't have anything else. We have some Monomate we can sell, I suppose. Is there a potion I can use to, like, regenerate my TP for my technical points? Fine. It's like a pittance. Actually, I meant to buy something. Give me a second. I want to see what's here before I end this playthrough. Telepipes, escape pipes, antidotes for poison, I thought. Maybe antidotes for healing TP, I don't know. I don't think I've ever been poisoned before. I use that. It's a Jawa. Like humans? Yeah, we're not gonna buy any of this. We might need it, but I mean, I'm not at the point where I'm worried about buying more gear. I know the usual progression in games like this. Wonder what weapons I can buy out here. Nope. Aram is also on the other side of the planet. Like, it's a dead end. The only reason to go there is to visit the towers, basically. First of all, this little blue teddy bear. Aren't you one of the gummy bears? Or maybe he's one of the Robert Burbles from Thundercats. See, I'm breaking out all the 80s anime references. Well, okay, Thundercats isn't technically anime. But it was animated in Japan, so I guess some people think that's enough to make it anime. Like Gummy Bears, Thundercats was animated in Japan. So we can have that conversation in another video, even though it's a perpetual conversation. It's the difference between the vibey definition of what anime is versus the geographic, taxonomic definition of what anime is, I suppose. We can't go into any of these other buildings, can we? We already went inside there. Yeah, I forgot to go to the weapon shop. Everything's too expensive. Silent shot? Well, we're not gonna buy that. So this is the dead end, right? We can't go that way, we have to go around. Let's talk to that one dude in the top left-hand corner. We gotta go all the way around. Sure. So I guess when we go down there, we'll be able to go to the basement. Maybe there's an elevator to terrain, so we can find Mother Brain. Is it Torian or Terrain? I can never remember how to pronounce that. Yeah, stuff's always going down in Mother Brain's basement. Speaking of anime. Let's see. So we'll do a save here. We might get into one fight to see what we're dealing with down here, but I guess I was hoping to be. I can't go into any of the buildings in this town, so whatever. Let's see how quickly we die out here. Can't go that way, I don't think. These guys seem completely normal. I forgot to heal myself. I probably should have healed myself. But it's obviously got to cost more money to heal myself out here. We gotta replace dude's pea shooter. Which means we're gonna have to fight some more enemies to get some more loot so we can buy another pea shooter. 47 Meseta. So we didn't learn anything. He probably can't do any magic. He's probably just a gun toter. With no good gun. He's probably just a tank. Uh-oh. See how long it takes to whittle these guys down. 13. That can't be good. You're aiming for the wrong dude. 19. 22. He's still not dead. 26. I'm gonna need a magic spell. Strategy. Get JC out to fight a spell. Jace, not JC. G-Foy. Unleash Heck. Wrong spell. Wrong. I targeted the wrong dude. So we need like 40. Whoop, Nay's dead. Yeah, Nay's dead. Yeah, she was gonna do that attack no matter what. She was gonna die no matter what, okay. So we get the idea. So we have to pay for a clone. Yeah, so he does like 11 points of damage to her at least and kills her. Whiff. Not dead. He's gonna keep spamming that spell, but he's gonna run out of magic. Jace gained a level, as does Nay. Okay, so we'd probably have to reload. We did gain a level, which is what matters. Like I said, I just wanted to see how long we would last out here. She can heal. Need to heal everybody. Nay touches Nay's wounds. Have to back out completely, then cast the spell again. So again, we need to go through a bunch of extra button presses just to do basic stuff. Like healing 2 party members. I guess this will be an easy fight, so we're gonna head back home. So how do we feel about this game? It sucks. It's antiquated. Like, when you're if you haven't played a bunch of JRPGs before, this is a bit too tedious. But it was all we had back then. So I mean, I know a lot of people really dig, like, Dragon Quest XI. We'll see how it goes. Like, Skyrim's a lot more approachable in this game, but Skyrim is, like... The problem is that Skyrim's a lot more complicated. Like, you can lower the difficulty level, but it's easier to get lost in a game like that. So it's not as nearly as much of an RPG, obviously. It's more of a first-person... It's more of a first-person, like, shooter. You can do melee combat. We'll come back to these guys. I'm gonna see what else is out here. I can also cast that spell, see where it sends us. What's this? Do we need dynamite here? Let me do another game save. Let me do a quick check. I can always fast travel back here if I have to, but give me a second. We'll do some cleanup in just a moment. So we'll make a bunch of game saves. Let's see if we need dynamite to get in here. Yes, we need dynamite. Where do we get the dynamite? I thought we already blew up the other dynamite. So I guess we have to get it from another tower. So if we fight an enemy in here, who are we fighting? Ugh. These guys can be bad. Let's see, order. Jace can't cast any more spells. Just fight, see what happens. Maybe we should have spammed the spit kill instead. I would argue we should kill the spit kill first. So have everyone target the spit kill. So you know how it works. We need 7 button presses to target the enemy on the right side. So strategy. Order Jace to attack the spit kill. Strategy, order Herc. Attack the spit kill. And we'll have Nay attack the spit kill too, and then we can fight. Just pile on it till it dies. 11, you missed. Whiffed. So we'll have to rewind back to the first attack. Fight. Whiffed. Yeah, he whiffed. Yeah, he whiffed. He just straight up whiffed. 11, 17, 21, and he's still not dead. So when does she wake up? So yeah, takes a lot to bring him down. And Nay's about to die. And she's dead, okay. So we get the idea. Okay, so we're going to fast travel back to town, see what's up. Like I said, it's a 99% chance I'm never playing this game again. You get the idea. This is how the flow of the game works early on, so... And the idea of having to grind through all that again just to get to this point does not fill me with a whole lot of pleasure. Tech. Oh, we don't have any more magic. Yeah, he needs 8 magic to teleport back to town, so we're gonna have to walk back. Amazing. This is also the yellow dam, isn't it? Gotta blow it up, I guess. We're calling it? That's the yellow dam, by the way. That's the second gate, I believe. So we'll explore some more. We'll cheat by fast forwarding or rewinding through all the combat. Rewinding past all the combat, because remember, if you pause, the monster respawns. The monster calculator restarts from 0, I guess. It's possible to go from here to the other side of the map without getting into one fight if you pause every once in a while, I guess. But if you keep moving forward, I want to say the game increases your chances of getting into a fight. Like I said, I don't have a map with this game, so I don't know what to tell you. It's a dead end, isn't it? Yep, it's a dead end. So we have to go through the yellow crap, don't we? But we have to figure out where to get the dynamite, which is the other problem. So yeah, I remember as a kid, I read about a bunch of early 16-bit games and magazines, and this looked really interesting. Like I said, the anime aesthetic with the sci-fi looked pretty cool. No big-headed, super deformed anime characters in the medieval fantasy settings. Like, this seemed interesting at the time. I remember Ease sounding really interesting, because it had that dope soundtrack, and top-down action, real-time action seemed interesting at the time. Both of those are losers. So, I played Phantasy Star 3 about a decade ago. It's not great. It's better than this, because you could at least, you know, what is it? You could choose, you can target specific enemies, but I don't remember the pacing being much better. I remember being pretty linear, as I recall, but I've only played maybe 10 or 11 hours of it. Okay, so we're back into, we need to heal ourselves, so we'll do that, and we can do a manual save. Like, that'll be fine. So this is bonus footage, I guess, to kind of tease if I ever make another video at some point in the next decade. Which I probably won't. Did they ever say what the name of this town is? It just says, welcome to Teleport Station. Like, I kind of wish the game would just say, this is the name of the town. Where's the cure? Where's the hospital? There we go. All good. Nope. Maybe the idea is that we could cure people who aren't in our party. Something like that. I don't know. So we can save here. So we'll head up. We'll see what's doing. We'll head a bit further north, see what's doing. Not expecting much. There's no cloud saving. No cloud strife saving. But yeah, never was a fan. I mean, I was hoping, like I said, the plan was to give this game a chance. And I did. I gave it 2 chances. I gave it 2 long playthroughs. But I mean, like, again, without all the hand-holding, rewinding stuff, the game would be even more tedious than it already is. So that's the problem. Like I said, like, if you were 10 years old playing this for the first time back in 1989, this is all we had. 1990, there weren't a lot of... On the Genesis, there were not many options. War Song, Langrisser, I want to say that game came out in 1991. And there was none of this... I want to say it was just tactical fighting. It's like Shining Force 3. Well, Shining Force 3 did have overworlds, I believe. But I want to say there was no dungeon exploring. It was just strategy RPG combat. Like, that was literally all there was in the entire game. This is the dam, isn't it? Yeah, this is the dam. I guess this is the red dam, I guess. Yeah, so I can't really go anywhere else other than that town. Yes, it's the dead end. So is there anything else here I could actually do? Because I don't know where the dynamite is. It's hardly possible this world isn't very big. Is it possible this world is actually smaller than Final Fantasy 1? I mean, I like the idea of segmenting this overworld into sectors. I do think that's kind of interesting. I'm just curious how they actually... I'm just curious what they would actually do with all that. I don't know what they actually do with it, or just make it harder to get around. Well, there's the town again. I don't know where the dynamite's gonna be. Do we have to open another treasure chest to find the dynamite? This is like, there's the green dam down there, right to the bottom right. I'm very curious where that dynamite would be. mean, I'm still playing this game, so I'm like, I guess I'm just kind of curious I'm just kind of poking around the edges, just kind of see what's out there. I'm worried it's just nothing really interesting. There's a lot of tedious combat. Yeah, without the like I said, this game has a weird sense of... This is the game I never played as a kid, but I still have nostalgia in a sense for it. Because of what the game that had been built up in my head by seeing it in magazines and seeing footage of it on GamePro TV. So it implanted nostalgia in me, even though I never played it or owned the system that it was on. It's like most TurboGrafx 16 games. I like the TurboGrafx 16 Mini because the games that are included on it fill me with a sense of nostalgia that I never had. It was simply implanted in me by being exposed to footage of those games when I was young and I was curious what the new consoles were about. Like, I never felt any nostalgia for the Master System because it was impossible for me to find one. And I can't go south. So how do I get past any of this? This looks like... maybe I just have to go back to town. Because if I need dynamite, how do I get the dynamite? You can't use techniques. So I don't know how to get the dynamite. I'm gonna load this. Yeah, I don't know where the dynamite is. I mean, it might be back in town, but I mean, I probably don't want to... I guess to finish up the video, I'll just talk to a few people. But I talked to most of the people in town anyway. So I don't know where to get the dynamite. Maybe there's a building I have to go into? Opta, okay. Wait, what's in the southern part of this town? What biosystems lab? Yeah. It says in the southern part of this town. I mean, we can't go in any of these buildings, can we? Well, we'll find out in a second. I don't think we can go into a single one of these skyscrapers. Yeah, we can't go in any of these skyscrapers. We're not gonna level up for a while. I mean, sure, why not? No. No. It's my ground zero save. That's, I mean, I'm just... So if I don't know where the... Oh. I guess I canceled that. Okay, we're fine. We're done. I'm probably never gonna play this game ever again.